going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Good evening. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys have had a great day. We are almost there, you all. Tomorrow is Friday. Thank God. And then next week is Thanksgiving. The kids out of school. Some of you all will be able to sleep in. What's going on, Laura? Shout out to my mod. Girl, I saw part of that video, honey, you sent me. When I heard that boy say you can't be an ex-CIA agent, I was like, done. I was like, is it for real? Oh, just the idea of having to even Google something like that, because I just wanted to make sure when I left that comment on his video, and when I called him a clown, I meant it. You can't make this up. I say you can't be there's no such thing as an ex-CIA agent. What do you mean? Who told you that? You can't be this. See, when you get too far detached from reality, and then you're questioning everything in life. You don't even know what you're breathing in anymore. It's like, is it air we're breathing? It's who child? It's like I'm almost like having to do homework to listen to somebody when they say stuff like that. Now you having to research stuff. It's so crazy. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Listen, I know we're gonna have another late live this evening, or tonight rather, with Umar, but I had to get this one in because Candace Owens puts out a lot of nonsense out there into the air. And I don't know if y'all saw the thumbnail. Yeah. She won't tell you all the things that she should say, though. Because sometimes it's not necessarily what people say, is what they don't say. Candace, you want to sit here and talk about someone lying by omission? Okay, ditto. We can do the same thing. Anything you can do, I can do better. Except I'll be able to pull up Google Maps and court dockets. Like, this helper is walking around here saying, "Oh, you're lying by omission," and all this stuff. They're not telling us this. They need to release a full letter. Oh, I've gotten this letter from this anonymous source that I refuse to name, even though I'm going to put a donor out there. And see, here's the thing. Even if you're just researching the addresses she gave in the last show yesterday, you're still going to come across the same information because it's already out there to the public. See, that donor's information was not available to the public, Candace. You need a good hard lawsuit to remind you of that. But the information you allowed us to get based on an address, it is available to the public. So if you guys haven't seen the thumbnail, check it out. The thumbnail for this video, for this live, it's something else. Lying by omission. Oh, okay. We can all do that. we can all sit here and point out all the things that Candace Owens has lied about by omission. Yes, we can, girl. Yes, we can. All right, shout out to all of you all. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're not going to be wasting time with it today. I'm telling you all right now. Because I got to do Umar, and then I got to go to bed. And this is something else. I wouldn't have done a live on this had it not been so blatant and obvious of this level of deception. And I'm not shocked because it's Candace Owens. I'm just shocked that she thinks that no one will put an address into Google Maps. Like, seriously. Simple things. What's going on, Caleb? How you doing, honey? Mister, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome in, everybody. Shout out to my mods. Thank you all so much for being here. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button on the way in, because we are here for it. Hit the like button for me. Thank you all so much for the support. I'm getting finally, God is blessing us to get double-digit views, like 10,000 plus views on videos. And I am just so honored. Thank you all so much for supporting me here in the Lady Luck Club. You have no idea what it means to me. And to be blessed to have the channel growing as well, it's just even more phenomenal. We are at 29,151 supporters. And I just, oh my God, I'm so excited. So thank you all so much. Make sure you guys, as you're hitting watching those videos to hit the like button on them and share the content. I don't care if you share, post it up on. I don't have Facebook, so it'd probably be best if you guys did. But post it up, share it, tell people about the channel. Tell people, hey, Lady Luck Club is dropping documentations and facts and evidence and laws and things that Candace Owens refuses to read. I have an issue with people, having their personal information put out there because they're a donor. And yet, Candace, you left out some information that people needed to know, girl. Why you do that? So we're gonna get to it. We're gonna start off with she did a new video today, looking like a canary. Why did I fast forward that? I wanted to get past her beginning credits. It is gonna be sped up a little bit, but I encourage you all to it's the only way I can really tolerate Candace at this point. I gotta speed it up. So I do encourage you all to watch her video on, when you have time. That way you can get in fully what she's saying, but I gotta speed it up just for my sanity. And so, we can get in all the information that I had pulled up and researched as well. I think we might play part of the video she did yesterday because of this so-called letter with the addresses in it. But we'll see how it goes from there. So, leaving no stone unturned. That's how it goes now. Turkey. Oh man. Y'all ready for some turkey? What's going on? Let's see here. Caleb up in here. Who's right? Why you sound so mad? Why you putting stuff in all caps? I don't think. Do y'all realize I don't get mad at Candace? No, I laugh at her. No, it's my voice is just raspy. All right. Oh man, you can't say your voice is raspy no more. And yet the person saying I sound mad is yelling at me. And you put things in all caps, you're yelling. You do realize that, right? Come on, man. All right. Welcome on. Welcome in. Candy not effed up. Oh yeah. Candace does herself every new day, every day. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad for you, but why do you keep yelling and putting things in all caps? Okay, she's the most loyal black woman I've ever seen. Have you ever met her? Because I can guarantee you she will never pay your bills. God bless your heart and all your parts. It's so adorable when they try to defend her as if that does not move me over here. None of that affects me here. It has no effect on me. None. I care about facts and evidence. I don't really care if you think she's your most loyal black friend. I don't care about that. I just don't. Let's see. She recently posted to X playing stupid about that Delaware address again. Oh Lord. Candace didn't even Google it, you all. Because if she did, she would have said up front, here's what you expect to see outside of the building or the marquee or something. And in case you all are wondering, yes, like she would have just put it out there. That way people don't have to, no one has to wonder, like, why is she not saying that? She just put it out there. Just like when I emailed the University of Rhode Island, and then I showed the full email along with the response. Whether I liked the news or not, I showed it. I didn't do anything. I showed the full email. So you all can see that. A person with that name and date of birth received a degree. Because that's called integrity. Whether I like it or not, I'm here to detach my feelings out of it and just give you all the facts. And that's how it should be. She couldn't even Google it and just give people a heads up of who all is really working in that building by an address. So it's insane. It's insane. Hey Bernard, how you doing? What's going on? Stop yelling in my chat. You gonna tell me to stay? The funny thing is, this is my channel. You don't have to be here. God bless your heart and all your parts. If you choose to exit, I won't stop you. You don't dictate nothing over here. None of that stuff works over me. None of it. It's so funny. Yuck. What's going on? Hey, LLC fam. Hope everyone is blessed. Listen here. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Laura. See, Laura can say that because I know she's not yelling at me. She's shouting it. But you're yelling, and I don't know who you are. Have you ever been a lawyer friend? Yes, and that has nothing to do with anything. Nothing. That none of that stuff works over here. That stuff don't work over here, boy. No, don't work. Don't care. It has nothing to do with facts and evidence. I never saw the trolls yesterday, but FYI. Oh yeah, they all here. Thinking they run stuff. You don't have to meet me. What's going on, Brandy? Ain't like it's the most lawyer. Yeah, they know I'm dedicated to telling the truth. Let them live in La La Land. I don't do cult. We don't speak cult over here. You just saying random stuff. I don't promote. You go kiss Candace butt over there on her channel. Don't. You ain't trying to dictate how my platform goes. It's so funny to me. What's going on? Hey there. How you doing? I would say something, but we got trolls up in here, and I just don't want people to be looking for people because certain things. So, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What's going on, Gold? How you doing? I don't see the trolls. Yeah, it's this guy. I've never met you. You don't have to. I'm yet praying for you, boy. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So we're gonna start off with the newest one she did today, and then we're gonna kind of, get to parts of it. I haven't seen the whole show. I just saw like the first 5 minutes and realized that she kind of goes back to what she said yesterday. So then we're gonna go to the one she did yesterday, just for the address, and then I'm gonna pull up the information that I got, that I researched on, and then we'll get back to it. Does that sound good? Let's go. Put a one in the chat if you can see in here. Let's get to it.
Grief is weird. Okay. I gotta tell you, in those weeks following Charlie's assassination, I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was honestly having an out-of-body experience. I didn't want to accept things. Obviously, that's the reason that I went away to Wyoming. But with every week that we move further from September 10th, I have more clarity, and I'm starting to focus on things that happened in those early days. There are certain things that are playing in my mind over and over again. I would say that happened in the first 72 hours following Charlie's assassination. I was in a state of trauma, and not for a single second during that state of trauma did I believe that Turning Point USA would later be involved in what seems like a cover-up, right? It seems like if you have to lie ever, it's because you're covering up the truth. Duh. And like I said, my initial sense was that all of us would come together and try to figure out who did this, because the Tyler Robinson story wasn't making any sense. Well, I want to tell you guys this. There's another phone call that I had with Andrew Colvett where I was crying on the phone with him. I mean, I am talking maybe 72 hours max after Charlie was killed. And he was also upset on the phone, but he said something, and it's hitting differently the more that I think about it. He said, and I quote, "Candace, it was supposed to be you. It was supposed to be you." Now, at the time, I dismissed this as some sort of bargaining, right? That's an actual statement.
I want proof. I want him to come out and corroborate that, because he could have said that and it meant anything else in the world. And she's trying to make it seem like it was supposed to be her, as in her taking a bullet. Like, why are you trying to take that type of attention and spotlight? You have 4 children and a whole husband. Candace, do you realize what you're speaking over your life right now? Like, it's almost like she wants it to be her. She thinks this is a way to get attention here. This is someone that lost their life. You can't make this up. And it's I mean, where's anything? If you got a phone call, why didn't you record it? She's supposed to be a woman that keeps receipts and all of that, Not that she ever did, but whatever. Why didn't she record the call? Especially if you're going to turn around and insinuate, like she just did, all of Turning Point USA here. She just did it again. Never mind the fact that Erica Kirk is the CEO, and she did not say except Erica Kirk.
Of us would come together and try to figure out who did this, because the Tyler Robinson story wasn't making any sense. Well, I want to tell you guys this. There's another phone call that I had with I was in a state of trauma, and not for a single second during that state of trauma did I believe that Turning Point USA would later be involved in what seems like a cover-up, right? It seems like if you have...
Yeah, what seems like a cover-up of Charlie Kirk's assassination. But yet she doesn't distinguish whether or not she's including Erica Kirk. And Erica Kirk is the CEO. You're not going to sit here and play word games and semantics, Candace. We're not listen, you could play that nonsense with your cult-like following trolls. You know, the candy asses, because they don't care. They don't care anything about facts or evidence. They just take everything you say as the gospel. The rest of us on earth here in this reality don't do that. And you never go out of your way to make sure that there's some sort of exception to this. It's like she wants there to be gripe with Erica Kirk, and she wants Erica Kirk to respond. And I am so glad Erica Kirk is treating you as if you don't exist. This is absolutely insane. They're being accused of being involved in some sort of cover up. You're the only one sitting here saying that, Candace.
Have to lie ever. It's because you're covering up the truth. Duh. And
Who's
like
lying?
I said, my initial sense was that all of us would come together and try to figure out who did this, because the Tyler Robinson story wasn't making any sense. Well, I want to tell you guys this. There's another phone call that I had with Andrew Colvett where I was crying on the phone with him. I mean, I am talking maybe 72 hours max after Charlie was killed. And he was also upset on the phone, but he said something and it's hitting differently the more that I think about it. He said, and I quote, "Candace, it was supposed to be you."
I want proof of that.
It was supposed to be you. Now, at the time, I dismissed this as some sort of bargaining, right? That's an actual stage of grief. You do bargain. You wish that it was this person. You could trade it. Maybe you wish that it was yourself. And to be honest, I did go through that phase of bargaining with Charlie. Like, why didn't it happen to somebody else? This is a good person who had his whole life ahead of him. I mean, I told you that even my father went through that stage of grief. My father was like, this makes me feel terrible because Charlie has lived his life so admirably. And like, I've had so many chances in life, so many illnesses, and it just makes me so sad. But now I'm feeling a little bit different, removed from the situation. Like now I'm going, was I being, I don't know, was he being honest? Was Andrew being honest? Was Andrew trying to maybe communicate to me after, especially given the fact that I told you that while the actual day on September 10th, while Charlie was in the hospital, he told me that there was a list and that me and Tucker Carlson were on it and that we had to lay low, but he never told me who told him that. I never got a call from the feds telling me that. So I feel like these questions I have now are quite valid. Andrew, by the way, was not the only person who called me on that day and reached out to my family on that day with this warning, immediately cautioning me and Tucker to keep our mouths shut, telling us that we should lay low because there was a quote unquote list going around. Another person was a very well-known woman who happens to be married to a CIA contractor.
What list, Candace? There's a list going around. Somehow you can create lists on everything else. Supposed passengers on a plane to which you still haven't shown any photos or videos that exist. What list? Why wouldn't you ask for that? And why wouldn't you allow the FBI or even DHS to do an investigation? If they're giving you a warning saying, hey, you need to be careful and look over your shoulder, why wouldn't you launch a formal complaint? You think you would take that to your local authorities or somebody that can actually investigate this, even if you get a PI. Never wrong with that. Get a PI. Get a private investigator. And she tried to use this as a reason why she didn't go to the funeral, by the way. No. Her reason for not going to the funeral, though, was because if I've pissed the FBI off, why would I want to go there? Not because I feared for my life and the FBI is not helping. See, there's a difference, Candace. Like I said, anything you think you're doing, I'm going to do it 1,000 times better. Because you have no excuse to not have been there at the funeral. Only because you thought you were pissing off the FBI. Not because you truly felt your life was in danger. You've done nothing to ensure that any investigation has been done. Wouldn't you be solving that? Wouldn't you be investigating someone trying to take you out if that be the case? If she was truly concerned about someone having some sort of hit on her or threat to her life, wouldn't she be focused on actually looking for those clues and investigating who is on that list and who might be possibly trying to take them out? Not starting with Charlie Kirk, but starting with herself. Because, she claims to be an investigator and all. Wouldn't you just make it easier and just, okay, let me find out who's trying to come after me? Then that way you don't have to worry about doxing people and harassing people and sending, the candy ass cult members in everybody's chats and in comment sections saying dumb things that make no sense. And then leave them to believe that they can just hide behind a YouTube channel, because that's not how that works. Why wouldn't you just try to investigate it? She's so concerned about her life and safety with 4 kids that she's doing nothing about that. You can't make this
Same
up.
exact message. You and Tucker Carlson. But of course, we cannot tell you who we are getting this information from. I'm starting to realize, as I consider who the sources are and their closeness to the military, and now that we've gotten into the story and realized that virtually everybody there that day has these military ties, that threat may have been coming from the government, actually. That the globalized government that we live under, right? LOL to the idea that we have the national sovereignty, may have wanted me and Tucker to watch our
globalized government. We don't have a globalized government in the US. We have a national government. What's this globalized government she's speaking of? Because we all know she doesn't understand the difference between nationalism and globalism. She's proven that in a whole video. She has no concept of nationalism versus globalism. So what global government is she speaking of? Because the CIA is ours, FBI is ours, DHS is ours. I mean, what global government are you talking about? Once again, why don't you investigate who's after you? And let the feds handle the investigation of Charlie Kirk's assassination, since you've already said you don't care about it. She does not care about that investigation. Those words came out of her mouth, just like that. I don't care about the investigation. Okay, that's exactly what she said. And I have no problem going back and proving a point, pulling it up with the captions so that people can see that's exactly what she said. So why do any of this? Why don't you find the people looking for you? How about that? I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
Friend die. And then that global gang wanted us to know that you will be next if you don't shut up. Like, really, it was supposed to be you. And this new saddest angle is not something that seems subtle to me. When I consider that it was Charlie that called me, it was Charlie that said that they want me to stop speaking about Brigitte. And now I consider saddest, which according to our source, our well-placed source, is a front, right? Suddenly this French company comes in and
no, why would you do that? Why not give Charlie Kirk the credit of calling you and actually telling you you might want to calm down about the French president and saying things that you cannot factually prove with scientific evidence? You would need DNA to prove someone is genetically born a man, and you don't have it. You're going to lose. Yeah, keep on about Delaware and all this stuff. Let's go.
leases a hangar for only 2 years. Okay. And immediately this becomes a location where our Egyptian military plane is going to land in Wilmington, Delaware, not to get service. We know there was no maintenance happening because there was this lack of a lease since 2021. All of this now feels really interesting, very interesting. And don't forget that same source claimed that after our Egyptian plane, tail number SUBTT, landed into this federally monitored hangar, that a foreign dignitary was then discreetly moved to 920 King Street, which we've learned and confirmed houses the DEA, the FBI, and the Secret Service. Quite rare.
Oh, well, here's also another point that's quite rare. Y'all ready? So, as you all may recall, I've been going over the Macron lawsuit very heavily, and I'm going to keep reporting on it because I am. And here's the case number. N as in Nancy, 25, C as in Candace, -07 -194. And then you see Emmanuel Macron versus Candace Owens et al. Defamation filed back on July 23rd, 25. They filed an amended complaint since then. So let's go down to the case event schedule with the case parties, okay? You all see who the case parties are. Starting with the Macrons. You see, Brandon E. Farnan. Now what I want you all to pay attention to are addresses. Ready? So we have an address for Farnan LLP, 919 North Market Street, 12th floor, Wilmington, Delaware, 19804-801. Same thing for Michael. And then you have Candace Owens LLC, Georgetown Inc. And then here you go. The Kent County Sheriff, Newcastle County Sheriff. Of course, Judge Rennie is at the Superior Court of Delaware, Newcastle County Courthouse, Wilmington, Delaware, because she kept asking, what's the significance of Wilmington, Delaware? So, Candace, you have no idea what's going on in Wilmington, Delaware. Is that what you want people to believe? I'm gonna leave the candy ass cult followers. They can say and do whatever they want. That stuff doesn't work over here because we read, and reading is fundamental. So, Candace, you want to keep playing as if you don't know why Wilmington, Delaware is significant to you? Okay. So, here's one of the reasons why. See, there's a lawsuit that Candace has been fuming and complaining and whining and crying about that she absolutely deserves. That's happening in a courthouse in Wilmington, Delaware. The Superior Court, Delaware, Newcastle County Courthouse, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Candace, do you want to repeat that and say why Wilmington, Delaware is of great importance to you? Because, see, Charlie's not here to defend himself against all this nonsense you're putting out there. And Erica Kirk does not even recognize your existence on Earth. So why would Wilmington, Delaware be important to anyone except Candace Owens? You've been trying to fight this lawsuit by any other measure, but you won't tell your cult following that you filed a motion to dismiss and a motion to strike the first amended complaint. Because, see, unlike you, I don't have to sit here and make up things about what's going on with the case. I just look at the case court docket activity. You want to get to the discovery phase. You want people to sue you. Sue me. I want subpoena power. While she files a motion to dismiss because she really does not want to go through this litigation. And because it scares the living crap out of her that an entire president of another country is suing her for defamation, and they will be providing scientific evidence to prove their case. She's going to lose. And big. And I hope they get at least 10 million. Candace, why worry about that, girl? From my research, George is worth well over $240 million. Of course, he got your back, right? He's going to pay that 10 million for you. What you worried about? Yeah, he's worth over $240 million because I've already started researching George Farmer because he refuses to tell his wife to make him a sandwich. So since she wants to play journalistic games, you're going to win some prizes you're not going to like, Candace. Because you have no idea what you're doing. Candace, you're bad at this. You are bad at this, girl. You're not even presenting all the facts here. Who do we see over here? Catherine Mowry, attorney for defendant. That defendant being Candace Owens, Candace Owens LLC, defendant, Georgetown Inc., defendant. Now we see attorney for defendant, Richards, Layton, and Finger, Pennsylvania. What is that address? 1 Rodney Square, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Then you see a Chad Chandler, attorney for defendant, Richards, Layton, and Finger, Pennsylvania, 1 Rodney Square, 920 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Same thing with Blake Rohrbacher, attorney for defendant, Richards, Layton, and Finger, Pennsylvania, 1 Rodney Square, 920 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Candace, you want to keep telling people that you have no idea why Wilmington, Delaware is of interest? But see, this isn't a show. This is real life. You're playing show games in real life because you're bad at this and you don't know what you're doing. Every day you get in front of that mic, you have a script. You couldn't wing it if someone paid you all the money, Candace. So now you want to pretend to be stupid like you don't know why Wilmington, Delaware is important to you? You're being sued. This case is being heard in the Superior Court of Delaware that so happened to be in Wilmington, Delaware. Your attorney's office is in the same building at that same address that you said yesterday about some letter that was not vetted because we have no idea who sent it. Just because she says it does not mean that the rest of us here on earth in this reality have to believe a damn thing that Candace says. We don't. We don't owe her that. We don't owe her benefit of the doubt. We don't owe Candace a damn thing. Candace lies like she breathes. And she's going to continue to lie because, of course, she doesn't want to embarrass herself by saying, I actually omitted this part out. I lied about this, guys. I'm sorry. Nope. Nope. You're playing journalistic games like it's a game show. So you're going to win some bad prizes, girl. Yeah. So she wants you all to know about 920 North King Street. Talking about agencies that she has no idea or concept what any of these agencies even do. She has no idea of the difference between DHS, the FBI, the DOJ. She has no idea. She can't tell you how they relate, how they work together, what makes them different. None of that. She can't tell you any of that. But yet she continues to use the CIA logo without the consent of the CIA and the likeness or image of the logo to make money. But forgets about the federal laws that would allow them to sue her for that. Candace, you can keep playing this game. You're going to start winning some bad prizes. Or you just lose like hell. Either way. Stuff no mind to me. So now that we've established that this address includes her attorneys at the same location, let's get over to the map. Y'all want to see the map? Because there's a map. So Candace, you wanted people to Google this stuff. I don't know why you didn't think that the average person would. The candy ass cult followers, they don't read and Google. But that's all we do here. This is fun for me. This is fun for me. She doesn't vet her tips. So somebody is screwing with her, but whatever. Candace, you brought this upon yourself. You heifer. You brought all of this on yourself. You won't even tell the cult followers that you filed the motion to dismiss. Oh no, she wouldn't. She dare not tell you all this. Oh no. Because she really does not want this to go through at all. She just doesn't. Yeah, no, motion to dismiss filed by Chad M. Chandler. That's her attorney. Defendant's motion to dismiss and to strike the first amended complaint with the certificate of service. Why are you doing that if you really want to get to the discovery phase, Candace? She says that she has no idea why Wilmington, Delaware is important. Yeah, okay. You want to learn that the easy way or the hard way, Candace? How you want this to go, girl? Candace, how do you want this to go? How much more dumb is this going to get? Because I mean, we could go full blown. We can watch you crash out and burn, and then we're gonna just keep debunking you with factual evidence that we can all read. Yeah, here's the map. Here's the map. So if you all see here, this is this 920 North King Street address right here. Y'all see this? You look in. Y'all see it. She put the same building up yesterday, but she didn't say anything about, just as an FYI, my attorneys work in this building. Did anyone hear her say that? Because I will go back to the video and look at the caption to see. Did she say that? Did she ever say her attorneys work in that building? Did she ever say that? Because I'm just trying to see, why wouldn't she tell anybody? Why wouldn't she tell anybody that her attorneys work in this building? Why wouldn't she tell anybody that? Why wouldn't she say, hey, just as an FYI, for full disclosure, my attorneys actually work at this address that I'm telling you all is with this FBI, DHS, DOJ. It's so rare. Like they can never work together, which they do all the time. They do all the time. DHS, the DOJ, the FBI falls under the DOJ, but they do collaborate all the time, even including the CIA when they need to. Depending on what the actual issue is, they work together all the time. She acts as if our own government agencies somehow cannot work together. Sometimes the EPA works with the DEA. Sometimes ATF works with the DEA. You see how these different agencies can collab together when they need to? You can have ICE and FBI work together. Who told her that nonsense? Candace does not know how court works, how governments work, the definition of nationalism or globalism, or the difference between the number 9 and the letter N. Like, she said these things. I'm just repeating it. So she has no idea how this stuff works. Candace, this is unbelievable. But you lied by omission. Because, see, this is what you claim to be lying by omission. When you leave information out that would be vital for people to know, if you're going to sit here and talk about this address at this building, you would need to tell people up front, hey, full disclosure and full transparency, my attorneys work in this building. And here they are, right here on the marquee, right here, y'all. Right here. Richards, Layton, and Finger, attorneys at law. At the same building, at that address she gave, 920. If you see here, you see 920 North King Street right here. That's the address right there at the bottom of Marquee Building. You can see also what else is in there. You see this BK Adden and Arps and Blake and Mequar or something and Flom LLP, Rodney Grill. Sounds like a restaurant. And Candace's attorneys up top. In Wilmington, Delaware, while she pretends like she has no idea that Wilmington, Delaware exists. Candace, you're bad at this, girl. You could have, for full transparency and disclosure, gave people a heads up and said, my attorneys are in this building, so I have a connection to Wilmington, Delaware. I don't want anyone to walk away thinking I don't know anything about Wilmington, Delaware. That's not all. Yeah, okay. Candace. Candace. Oh, Candace. Because I can do this all day. Oh, Candace. You tried your best, girl. With these trademarks and registrations and all of that. You tried. And you just didn't get it done. You tried your best though. Yeah, she tried her best. So Candace has an LLC, but she tried to get it registered back over into the state of Tennessee. And as you all can see, the status since then is abandoned because no statement of use was filed. Same with Georgetown Inc. So right now, they are registered to the domestic state of Delaware. You all see that here? Georgetown Inc. and Candace Owens LLC are both registered in the state of Delaware. And it is because of that that the Macrones were able to file that lawsuit in the Superior Court of Delaware. When you're out here defaming people and you're doing it with malice intent and you're making money from it, they're going to go after which LLC is the company to which you're making all this money through. So her channel, Candace Owens or Candace, whatever it is connected to the Candace Owens LLC. And that's where most of the money she makes from YouTube, all of that is being done under that LLC. Georgetown Inc., I believe, is under that LLC as well. It could be the other way around. But because they're both registered in the state of Delaware, so that gives the court jurisdiction. And the Macrons, the legal authority, in standing to file the lawsuit that they filed against her in Delaware. Either way, Candace, if they can't do it in Delaware, they're going to do it in Tennessee where you live. So you still have to face this lawsuit. But as opposed to her trying to fight it like she said she would and lied about, oh, I don't want this case dismissed, while she still withholds the fact that she filed a motion to dismiss with a motion to strike the first amended complaint. She's sitting here giving off this notion she wants this thing to go through. She wants subpoena power, another concept she doesn't understand. So there are a lot more ties to Wilmington, Delaware, that's connected to Candace Owens than there is to Charlie Kirk, any Egyptian, the FBI, the DHS, or the DOJ. Candace has more ties to Wilmington, Delaware than all of those government agencies she continues to name. Candace, do you really want to continue to pretend as if you don't know anything about what's going on in Wilmington, Delaware? Candace also filed a lawsuit against USA Today in the Superior Court of Delaware because of her LLCs being registered there, and as well as the one with USA Today. Candace, you're bad at this. When you tried to get it transferred, nope, abandoned. No statement of use filed. Nope. Candace Owens LLC, nope, abandoned. No statement of use filed. You can't make this up. Here's some patent information. Yeah, United States Patent and Trademark Office. Candace, you're bad at this, girl. You can't make this stuff up. You want to continue as if you don't know what's going on in Delaware, Candace. You won't even tell people. That's what's so irritating about this. Like, she won't even say anything about it. So you guys see the list of all these documents here. These are clickable links, by the way. So you can click on each of these things. Let's look at the notice of abandonment. Let's see what that is. So you all can just see what that looks like. Here you go. So there was a trademark app. So you can have the LLC trademark, I think is what is it, a corp or something? All of that can be done where you have it filed based on, the state you reside in, the state you're doing business in. They didn't get some documentation in time. You all see here, failure to file timely SOU or extension requests. And then you have the U.S. application serial number. There's the owner here, Candace Owens LLC. Docket reference number, Owen 14235, and then the issue date was October 6, 2025, last month. Candace, knowing that you're in court and that you're being sued under a specific jurisdiction because of this LLC, and then you trying to go around that and have this LLC or whatever transferred to a different state, do you know what that implies to the court? Do you understand what the message that sends to the court? She has no idea the message this sends to the court. You can't make this up. This is all documentation. I don't even have to, this is all public information as well. I'm gonna put the link in here. And guess what? To the candy asses, you can't delete this stuff no matter how hard you try. You're not going to be able to delete this to help her look good. Hell no. This is public information. Yeah. Because you can't delete this stuff no matter how hard you try. See, here in this reality on earth, we read here. If you don't like reading, if it's too much for your brain to handle, you might want to go to your safe space, go to your safe zone, go pull up a Candace Owens video, and then you can go lullaby yourself to sleep. Oh. Oh. They're not changing the venue. It's going to be held in the Superior Court of Delaware. Just like her lawsuit she filed against USA Today. Yeah. Because her registrations were good in Delaware when she was filing a lawsuit. One gets filed against her. Now she's trying to run for the hills to Tennessee. Girl, no. Girl, bye, Felicia. Nope. You can't make this up. So if you want to go to your safe space, this is the time to go to your safe space. To all the candy asses, go to your safe space. Go watch your Candace Owens video so you can get your blood pressure down and go and have a relaxing evening. Get you some sleep. You'll feel better tomorrow. This information will still be here. This is factually based and it's available to the public. Yeah, it's just, you can't make this stuff up, man. Candace, so you want to continue to tell people that you have no idea what the hell is going on in Wilmington, Delaware? Or why Wilmington, Delaware is more important to you than anyone else? Yeah, there's a whole lot here. Here's another tab, some documents here. This is the case viewer. You can't make this up. Candace, why didn't you follow through on this? I'm just curious. Not that I really care, but I mean, why would you let it get to a point where you failed to file something? Well, why would you let that? Why would you not try to follow through on it? Is because it would look too suspicious? It has to be a reason why you would just all of a sudden just notice of abandonment, failure to file E. Why? Like, what reason would you have to not want to file this? The application above is abandoned because we did not receive within 6 months of the notice of allowance issue date a statement of use or SOU or a request for extension of time to file a statement of use. What? That doesn't seem difficult. You've got an attorney that handles this stuff. Oh, she has an attorney to handle these things. So if you all hear an address that's in Jersey somewhere, yeah, that's where her attorney is. Because this is ridiculous. Candace, you're not hiding anything from anybody. Here it is right here. Correspondence address. This is the attorney that's handling this stuff. In Whippany, New Jersey. Are you going to bring up something about New Jersey as well, Candace? Like we all sat back and watched that video yesterday, and I'm sitting here like, this girl cannot be serious. Is she asking what's going on in Wilmington, Delaware? Like, what significance is there to Wilmington, Delaware? Your lawsuit? You talking about? Ain't nothing to do with Charlie. Charlie Kirk, he don't care that you got sued. He praying for you. I'm sure he was praying for you. She got sued on July 10th. He didn't say anything about Candace Owens getting a lawsuit. You going out and lying about someone being born a man with no scientific evidence because you're allowing a bunch of brainless cult members to sit here and, tell you that it's okay. Keep going. No, okay. None of their opinions are going to matter when it comes to court. There's a jury demand, Candace. There is a jury demand. You will not be able to convince that jury of your peers that you did not intentionally lie as you doubled down on claiming that she was born a man or had a sex change and all this other nonsense. And when they come in there with scientific evidence, that's a done deal. You're screwed. And just like she won't tell them that she's filed a motion to dismiss and a motion to strike the First Amendment complaint, I guarantee you all, she won't tell them that she's trying to possibly talk about some sort of settlement or reach some sort of agreement through mediation. Oh, she's not going to tell anybody that because she wants subpoena power. Oh, man. They don't even ask questions. They just go and believe whatever she says. Yes, master. Yes, master. You make sense. It sounds good. That's a fact because they can't define the word fact. You can't make this up. These are facts, master. Like they just going along with it. Candace, you're not fooling everybody. I appreciate your cult followers being in here though. They helping with the engagement. Hit the like button while you all in here to the candy asses. Hit the like button. I give you a little banter, just to kind of keep you entertained because that's all they want. They want entertainment. They don't want facts or evidence, documentation. No, that stuff is boring to them. They want the entertainment of it all. So sometimes I read their comments to give them a little entertainment, make them feel special. Yeah, hit the like button while you all do that. Hit the like button. Oh man, you can't make this stuff up. So let's get back to this, y'all. So now that you all see, Wilmington, Delaware is more important to Candace Owens than anyone else in this entire scenario. The FBI, DHS, CIA, name an agency, DEA, FTF, I don't care. DOJ, none of them are studying Candace Owens. None of them. They're not stunning. Candace, you're not that important, girl. They're not stunning you. Quite frankly, they're tired of having to try to debunk you. I say they do what Erica Kirk is doing and ignore you and pretend like you don't exist. And be done with it and keep living. Good luck to your lawsuit. Like, that's all they should be saying. Tell Candace Owens, we're praying for her with this lawsuit. Yeah, the Macrons are going to win. That's it. That's all they need to say. You want to make another point? Just pull up this Google Maps and remind her your attorney works in the same building. While you see him talk about addresses given to you from some letter that sounds like someone is trolling the hell out of Candace. And Candace, you had it coming. You had it coming, Candace. Anybody could sit here and say, yeah, I sent that letter to Candace. Guess what? Unless she reveals the person who actually sent it, how would they know? Since they want to be conspiracy theorists, what if I'm the one that sent the letter to Candace Owens? What if I sent it? Would it matter? I'm just saying, would it matter? If I say I sent the letter to Candace Owens, what would it force her to have to do? Tell you all who really sent it. She would have to debunk me. So if I say that, or if someone else says it, then she would have to say who sent the letter, right? Because that's something she hasn't done. And trust me, I don't expect the candy ass cult followers, because they don't use their brain. I don't expect them to ask a question with more than 2 and 3 syllable words. They're not going to do that. They're too busy copying and pasting. So I don't expect them to ask questions that have them think outside the box. But if I were to say, I sent the letter to Candace, she would have to debunk me and say, Lady Luck Club is wrong. This is who sent it. Otherwise, her saying, you know what? She didn't send it, and then she never says who does. Well, you have to prove I didn't. See, Candace, when you make these accusations like this, you're the one bringing forth the accusation. It's up to you to produce the evidence. You brought forth that letter. You read it out. And yet, not only did you not read the entire letter, you claimed that it came from someone that works with the government. Who's obligated to believe you? No one's obligated to believe that someone actually sent her that letter. Not at all. No one's obligated to believe it. So they're at the mercy of just her hoping to. This is cool. I like the drawing. No, right? No one is obligated to sit here and have to debunk her. She would have to put forth the information of the person that sent it. Otherwise, she's making stuff up like anyone can do. I can say I sent the letter to Candace Owens. Yep, sent every letter. I sent all that information to her. She'll have to prove me wrong. Because I can just leave that out there in the cosmos as well. Candace, we can all do this. We can all say we sent you tips and letters and emails and all this stuff. And you would have to be the one to say, no, here's proof that they did not do it. You know why? Because until you start doing that, we can all just get hit to saying things. I sent the letter. Oh man, Candace she never want that smoke. Lady Luck Club said she sent the letter. We all sent the letter, Candace. We all sent it. Everyone else on earth sent you that letter. We're all trolling you. We're sending stuff to your tip line. You have no idea, girl. We all sent the letter. We all sent it. Seriously. Yeah. We all sent it. Yeah. We sent that. We all came up with it. You know, we laughed. Then we prayed over it. And then we went on ahead and sent it out to Candace just to see how far she would go with it. Her tip hotline is there, you all, in case you really want to send things to her. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's true or not, because she has no way to vet anything, but whatever. You can't make this up. Nah, I sent the letter. You can't make this up. All right, let's get back to her video so we can keep laughing. Now that you all understand what she really has at stake in Wilmington, Delaware, and her giving out addresses like this as if no one's going to Google it, it doesn't help her case at all. You know, because Candace, I sent the letter. I sent you the letter, girl.
Right? Quite rare for the Department of Justice to be coming together with the DHS. I mean, that's weird. So what does France have to do with it, right? What does Tucker Carlson have to do with it? Rationally, when I begin to create a timeline of when my life took a very different turn, it is because I began prodding the narrative on Israel at the exact same time that I began looking into the Brigitte Macron story. That was in March of 2024. It was on March 13th, 2024, that I did the very first ever episode on Brigitte Macron, right? And then, wham, I am fired within 10 days. It's a pretty quick turnaround. Charlie, of course, was a staunch defender of mine. Immediately when I got fired publicly and privately, he held my back. And then suddenly donors start to squeeze him and tell him that I can no longer hit the stage at Turning Point's AmFest. They want me gone from the Turning Point roster, right? I bring my new independent show back in June. And the timeline, actually, when I start to put these things together, is interesting. So we're going to bring that up here because I like timelines. It makes things neat, right? So we are in 2024, right? March 13th, I do that first episode.
Is this thing 2 hours off? Because if it is, Candace, it still means nothing. Candace, did you enjoy that letter? Y'all, I'm just saying these things. Do you believe it to be true or not? That I sent that letter to her? Do any of you believe that? I'm gonna just leave you guys wondering.
Regarding Brigitte Macron, March 19th, just 6 days later, I'm fired from the Daily Wire. I thought it was 10. It's actually 6 days later I get fired from the Daily Wire. Then in mid-November, I begin communicating with Xavier Poussard regarding the potential to interview him during an upcoming trip to London. Xavier Poussard is the person who wrote the Becoming Brigitte book. He has never been sued for defamation. And I was only going to interview him one time because he had never been on camera. I thought that would be a great get, and I still believe that.
Oh, no. So he's never been sued for defamation. That's all it takes for him to be credible? Candace, what do you mean? What if he has and you just don't know and he decided to mediate? You know, mediations don't make it to the court of law. It's not public information. Mediation agreements, that all that stuff remains confidential. The only thing you see is a settlement offer. How do you know that? You can't make this up. Is that her only way of measuring whether someone is credible? They have not been sued for defamation.
Brigitte Macron was born a man named Jean-Michel Trogneau. Suddenly, on December 3rd, before I interview him, I received the first ever cease and desist letter from Brigitte Macron and her lawyers. And the funny thing is, I didn't receive it. They sent it to a really strange inbox that was not monitored, right? This is only
But it was her inbox. It was still her inbox. She just didn't check it. As she said, not monitored. Yeah, no, because she didn't bother to do it, but it was still hers. Candace, that's very sloppy to have an inbox that you don't check or have monitored when you've got a team of people going over Google searches, looking for blue and yellow Egyptian aircrafts. You're sitting here pretending like you don't know what's going on in Wilmington, Delaware, and yet you couldn't have an inbox monitored? That's sloppy. You're bad at this, girl.
And this is on December 3rd. You can see, please see attached the time-sensitive legal correspondence sent on behalf of our clients, President Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron. We urge you to provide this correspondence to legal counsel promptly. They sent it to the Club Candace info. It was totally a random box sent it to, so we didn't get it. We go back to our timeline. That's December 3rd. And 7 days later is when it's announced that Satis, that's when it's publicly announced that Satis, that French company, has inked a deal in Wilmington, Delaware for a hangar. Okay. There's suddenly a French company, the CEO who knows Emmanuel Macron, we've confirmed that, decides they're going to sign a 2-year lease for an airport hangar to do what? To paint planes. I'm not kidding. Elsewhere in the article, it tells us that it's a French multinational company that specializes in the painting of aircrafts. And they plan to open for business in a hangar not far from Wilmington Airport come the new year. So in 2025, this is going to be their hangar. Okay, interesting. Back to our timeline.
Oh no, is she going to get to the actual blue and yellow planes now? Because I'm still waiting on photos or videos of these planes being in existence. You know, because the candy asses keep saying that's not what she meant. No, she's about to go there. Painting planes? Oh, no. She's about to go all the way there. Candace, that's how simple you are. I can predict where you're going with this. And I don't even have to watch it. Yeah, I can't watch Candace Owens by myself anymore. So we all have to come together in the Lady Luck Club. All of us Luxers, we have to watch Candace Owens together to be each other's support system because she's so dumb that, you know, I don't want anybody to get lost in translation. So we all have to come together and band together and watch Candace Owens together. It's the only way I'm going to watch it. I cannot watch it without you guys. I love you guys.
It's publicly announced on December 10th. And then on December 18th, Tom Clare sent another follow-up email regarding the cease and desist. And again, I don't receive it because he's sending it to this random box. I am forever thinking in my brain now, what if I had received it? I would have been spooked. I would have thought that they were monitoring communications between me and Xavier Poussard, the obvious answer, because I hadn't been speaking about Brigitte Macron on my podcast. So what was up with the cease and desist? I think my suspicion is they knew that I was moving to interview Xavier Poussard, which I then did. As you can see on the timeline on December 21st, I interview Xavier Poussard in London. We did not release it, right? We fast forward, we receive, after he forwards it to our actual attorney, and we receive the communication. And it actually just makes me angry because I'm pregnant. Now we're in 2025, and I decide that actually I'm going to turn this down to an entire season because who are you, French first man, to tell us that we can't speak about the story, which is incredibly interesting. And on January 31st, I release the first episode of Becoming Brigitte. Brigitte season 1 airs. And obviously this show goes viral because it was a show.
Candace, one of your candy ass cult members are, you know, confirming that you're a mean girl. I don't have an 8-part series lying on someone being born another gender either. Because, you know, science and DNA exist in this reality. Yo, this is why we laugh at the bots. Because you can tell the bots. You can tell when they're bots. They have no idea how to compute my response. They don't know how to compute it.
Shocking story, an unbelievable story. People worldwide are going, what the heck is going on? It's not what the press told us. It really kind of, it shocks your core that the press could be in on telling a lie this big. And then on February 17th, we premiere my sit down with Xavier Poussard. Okay. Jumping back into this timeline. That's on the 17th that email comes that we premiere that sit down interview with Xavier Poussard.
Stay to the script.
A couple of days later on February 24th, Charlie Kirk reaches out and he tells me that the White House is asking me to stop speaking about Brigitte. And he tells
yes, because you were lying about Brigitte. Because you have no scientific evidence to prove Brigitte was born a man or transitioned to a man. Because DNA is what you need, girl. That's why you asked for the blood of the first lady. Yeah, you did. You can see here, keep lying about it, but you said it in your video. I pulled up the words that came out of your mouth. I'm gonna see my doctor, get a little blood, take care of this real quick, because you know that's what you need to prove your case. And you can't get it, Candace. No, you can't. What does this have anything to do with Charlie Kirk again? You got sued before he was shot. Let me just be clear on this to all the Lucksters. Candace Owens was sued on July 23rd. Yeah, July 23rd. The initial lawsuit was filed July 23rd. This is before the day Charlie Kirk was shot on September 10th. So please explain to me, how does this have anything to do with Charlie Kirk right now? You got this lawsuit at least 2 months before he was shot, Candace. You're making this about yourself. I mean, if that's the case, can you stop putting this photo on your thumbnail?
Tells me that it is related to the peace deal in Ukraine. That is ostensibly the reason on the same day, February 24th, that's how quickly the phone call happened. This is the day that Donald Trump meets with Emmanuel Macron. Do we have that, by the way, the text message between me and Charlie? Here we go. Yeah, this is February 24th. I'm showing you guys this now. Hey, I have something to tell you from the White House. They asked me to call you. I'm just the messenger here, but it's important.
Oh, I see one down there, Lord. We see it. Tuesday, February 25th at 9:08 a.m. Candace, why can't all your text messages look like this? Y'all see that? Tuesday, February 25th at 9:08 a.m. And it better be the real date. We got up here Monday, February 24th at 5:32 p.m. Yep. See, Candace, why can't all your text messages look like this? This is what I'm saying. If you do it right the first time, people won't have to keep checking you on it. So she got one right. One text with date and time stamps in it. See, God, ain't God good? Look at that. It's still, I mean, I don't still see how this got anything to do with it. He's trying to look out for you, Candace. He was saying that the president does not want you lying on the first lady of France because you have no evidence to prove she was born a man. You did not have to pick up this stupid story that 2 other French journalists were sued over and is currently having a matter appealed in France. You didn't have to do that. You chose to do that. No one forced you to take up that. So this is all your fault, Candace. This is on you. When they sue you for that $10+ million, girl, I'm gonna run around outside and I'm gonna record myself running around. When she loses and they get like 10 million plus, I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna run around outside. Yep, I sure will.
And I see, okay, I'm around, call me. Then we have the phone call, and then I was like upset about the phone call because I was pregnant, and then I felt bad, and I was like, okay, let me think about it because I don't want people in Russia to be killed because I won't stop speaking about Brigitte if the Ukraine peace deal is actually what's at the center of this. And he says, okay. And then I tried to say, I will circle back tomorrow, or maybe I said tonight, call if you want to chat at all. And we did. We chatted.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk knew. Is that Charlie Kirk's name? Or it says no. You're right. What? Okay, who's got iPhones? Is this normal? Let me see my work iPhone. Hold on. Because this don't make no sense. Let me go to my contact list here, my work phone. Hold on a second. I'm looking at y'all. Look at y'all iPhones. Go to your contacts. All right. Under your contacts, do you see the word new next to your contact name? Like, I'm gonna just pull up a random person in my phone. Okay. When I go to my iPhone, I see the initials, the first and last initial, the person's name, and their name. If I send a message, it does not say anything about new. Like their profile pic at the top, it doesn't say anything about new. If I send a text, I don't see that at all. It has the bubble where you could put the photo underneath it. You'll see the number, the name, and then it has, whether this is a text message, SMS, and then it has the date and timestamp, and then the messages. Why does that say new and then update? Why would next to his name would it say new? And then new contact name, Charlie Kirk. Why would any of that be there? Anyone see that in their phones? In their iPhones? Who got iPhones? I have an iPhone. Do you see any of that? You see name next to the contact name? You see the word new? She's going to be on food stamps after everyone's suits. Oh, that's a good one, John. That's a good one. Shout out to all of you all as well. I am so sorry I did not say hello to everyone. Hello, everyone. Everybody speak to everybody. How you doing? What's going on? I'm sorry. I should have done that. That is so horrible of me. What's going on, John? Bonjour. How you doing, Amy? Eminem. I see some supers in here, new members. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. New contact is phone apps. Okay, so it doesn't say new next to their name. The word new, because I see the word new next to his name. Y'all see Charlie Kirk, and then it has new. And then it has new contact name, then Charlie Kirk, and then there's an update and an X. I've never seen that in the text message area of an iPhone. I'm looking at the one I have. Looks like she made up. What's going on, Jill? Looks like she made up a new contact for Charlie. But would it say new next to his name? I've never seen it. Screenshot the text message and put it in check GPT, and it talks about the inconsistencies and the highly likely that this is fake and is very good at pointing out the inaccuracies. Yes. So that would have to be something I would have to do after, like do a snippet of this and then upload it as a photo and then run it like that. Because that makes no sense. I'm not seeing that. I have an iPhone, a work iPhone, and we have the latest phone. They even give us case and everything. And I'm telling you all, I don't see the word new next to anybody's name that I have saved in my phone as a contact in the text message. She said, this is a text message, right? No one in my phone that I have a text message whose name is in here says new. You don't see the word new next to the name. So where does she get that from? Like, why would she? Do you understand how that makes no sense? And I'm looking at an iPhone. That's all I'm saying. That's why I said if anyone out there has iPhones, tell me if you're seeing the same thing and put it in the chat. Just let me know. Bonjour said that's not normal. No normal person would do such thing like that at all. It's like because I want to make sure. I have an Android, but my son's dad got a new phone and it did something similar. She didn't have the number. He texted her from saved in her phone, but she has his name saved in there as a contact. So would it do that as a contact? It's so weird. It's like she's using an app or something. If you already have someone programmed, it would suggest updated a different contact. But I think she programmed him in there separately so that it won't combine the two chats, phone numbers into one chat. Okay, so she has him in here twice. That's weird. Why would she do that? Unless wait. So if let's say she has his work number and then his cell number, you're saying she will put that in separately as a different contact? Is that what I'm understanding? It's satiric. How you doing? It's a whole mark of fake messages, fake hit messages. Yeah, it seems weird. I just don't understand. I don't see that same thing. I don't see the word new next to someone's name that's saved in my iPhone when I'm looking at the text messages. I don't see that at all. I don't know exactly what version iPhone that is, but I don't think any iPhone does stuff like that. Why would, unless she would type the word new in there herself, but then why would she do that? New contact number. Maybe that's that. Maybe it's something she added as like a title or description to the contact info. I'm not trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm really not. But it's so weird. The White House wants her phone number. If that isn't a huge fraud screaming in your face, then you need to. You think the White House wants her phone? Eminem say, if y'all think that the White House want her phone number, y'all must be crazy. Oh, Eminem. Happy Thursday. I start believing her on anything. Oh, I'm not. So I'm like, I'm not trying to give her the benefit of the doubt at all. Y'all know that. This just doesn't make any sense. You don't put people's names in as new. It's so weird. If it's a new number, it's a new number. You're going to just delete the old number, right? That's common sense. If someone has a new phone number, I'm not going to put your number in and put new next to it. I'm just going to delete the old number. It's crazy. That's crazy. Because if she changed the number, the text messages do not automatically delete. If you change the phone number, the message is going to be the same. It's just going to update the phone number. The text messages do not go away because you've updated a new phone number in the contact. So for her to put that is weird. It's just so weird. She is fake as hell. Oh no, I'm not believing her or anything. Listen, I just got through debunking her, saying that she, has no idea what these connections are to Wilmington, Delaware. Child, please. But didn't tell anybody her attorney works in that building. So Candace, you lying by omission somehow is an exception for you? No, ma'am. If you want to sit here and get on Rob McCoy or Benjamin Netanyahu, allege that they're lying by omission, Turning Point lying by omission, everybody lying by omission except her, when she's actually lying by omission. Because she didn't tell anyone that she actually has attorneys in that same building at that same address. Candace, I hope you enjoyed that letter, girl. I hope you enjoyed that letter.
The next day, you can see he starts with the White House just asked for your number, FYI. I think POTUS might call you. And that is not what happened. On February 25th, actually, Sergio Gore called me and asked me to stop speaking about Brigitte. And it felt more like an order than a request. And I did not respond in kind to that. February 26th, President Donald Trump calls me and asks me to stop speaking about Brigitte. Now, Charlie's in the middle of this. Communications are happening between me and Charlie about Brigitte, okay? On July 1st, and by the way, the series was over, and I said I'll agree to be quiet about this for a while because it's no longer relevant, and I don't want Christian men to be slaughtered in Ukraine because I'm not keeping my mouth shut. Now, on July 1st, Macron sends another legal threat.
What'd she say?
On July 18th, this is where things get really interesting. First, and by the way, the series was over, and I said I'll agree to be quiet about this for a while because it's no longer relevant, and I don't want Christian men to be slaughtered in Ukraine because I'm not keeping my mouth shut.
What?
Now, on July 1st, Macron sends another legal threat.
Candace, do you really think that would happen because you're talking about Brigitte Macron? Is she out of her mind? Yeah, she's out of her mind. I'm sorry. I should have never asked you all that question. She is absolutely out of her mind to think that she has this much power to have Christian men slaughtered in Ukraine because she's lying about Brigitte Macron. Something that will be debunked in the court of law with scientific evidence. Candace, you are out of your mind, girl. Why would you even use that example? Why would you say something like that? That is disgusting.
On July 18th, this is where things get really interesting. Charlie Kirk hosts Tucker Carlson at SAS. This brings in the Tucker element, right?
Candace
Tucker,
is really
he tells Tucker to go max, call out Israel, Jeffrey Epstein, just go max. And guess what? Tucker really did go max. I want to actually play for you this clip of what Tucker said on stage. Take a listen.
The unfairness of it drives you crazy. And it's particularly galling in the case of Jeffrey Epstein and the whole constellation of people around Jeffrey Epstein, all of whom seem to be getting away with scams. And how do you know they're getting away with scams? I'll tell you how, because they're useless and they're rich. So how do you come to a place where some of the least impressive, most useless people who have no actual skills become billionaires? How's that legitimate? And by the way, if you ask this question, at least in Washington, it's like, oh, well, yeah, sounds like you're a socialist. Sounds like socialism. Yeah, okay, I'm a socialist now. All right. I was a Qatari agent or a bigot. Now I'm a socialist. All right. Leaving aside my committed socialism, can you answer the question? How did Bill Ackman get $9 billion? Bill Ackman, a pretty impressive guy? I know Bill Ackman. No. Bill Ackman's like well-connected and super aggressive. That's it. And I think, well-connected, super aggressive people deserve a fair living like everybody else. But if you're accruing $9 million just because you're willing to do anything, I don't know why we have to pretend that's good. How did Epstein get 4 Gulf Streams? How did he get an island?
Y'all hear it's silent in there because he's speaking to people who believe in capitalism. I don't understand his point. You're talking to people who believe in capitalism. They don't believe in having limitation on the amount of money that they can earn. They're sitting around there like, what are he talking about? Y'all, if you can only read the room, I'm like, these people in here have to be sitting there looking to themselves like, Tucker Carlson's lost his damn mind. Isn't that the principal concept of capitalism, is earn all the money you can? Now, if he wants to talk about a matter of legality or ethics, that's one thing. But isn't he supposed to be a journalist or a reporter or something? But the idea that, how is he making all this money? Why don't you go figure that out? You're supposed to be a reporter. I don't get his point.
A massive ranch in New Mexico, the biggest house in New York. Like, what is that? Like, at some point, the basic economics really matter. And they matter because, not that it's bad that rich people are getting richer, it's bad that everyone else is getting poorer. And it's especially bad that young people can't afford homes.
So what Tucker is getting to the heart at there is that we don't live in a meritocracy, right? You have people who, because of their bloodlines, are just being handed things, right? Barry Weiss is a perfect example of that. Nobody knows why she is an executive at CBS. She has no objective talent. I will guarantee you everyone around her is smarter than her. And yet CBS picked Barry Weiss. There's a reason for that. There is a reason why people who are talented can be completely shut out, taken out, told that they can't even be in the system. Think about Kanye West, right? Because of what he's saying. And then people who have no talent are suddenly everywhere. Billboards. We're being told this is the most beautiful person, the smartest person. This person has what it takes to have a makeup brand, whatever it is. And they have no objective talent. That is not something that they would want.
Candace, you have no objective talents either. You run your mouth, but you produce no evidence or documentation or show proof that you're reading or researching. We can tell when you're off script. You have no way to vet your tips. I hope you enjoyed that letter. This is unbelievable. And yet she married a man that has made her now valuable at what, $224 million or $244 million? It's somewhere in between that. Her and George are stinking rich. So what is she complaining about here?
Message to Generation Z, generation coming up, who's recognizing that something's not fair, that perhaps this whole idea that we live in a meritocracy is one big illusion.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to our timeline, right? Tucker Carlson says that, and we then have on July 18th that the request from Turning Point's UBU chapter, which we've not been able to independently verify, but that's what the local news said, that they saw it with their own eyes, but we didn't see it.
Exactly.
That's when the request comes in for Charlie to speak at UVU. Very late in the day, never happens this way. Okay. Like I told you, they are always working at least a semester behind on requests, but this one's happening quickly. This is really interesting because
you can't say that, because they may have changed up the way they operate since you left over 5 years ago. Mind you all, she was only there for 18 months. And she was not a founding member. She was hired. And I think her job title there was communications director. Candace, you're not more important than someone who's been there from day one. or longer than you. You don't trump out someone that may have been there 4 or 5 years. You were only there 18 months. So no, they could have changed the way they did things.
BTT then comes in from Cairo through Paris and lands in Omaha, Nebraska. And it's the longest stay actually that they have in Wilmington. Okay. They do this long stay, and that's not in Nebraska. That long stay that I'm referring to is happening in Wilmington. They stay in Wilmington for 6 days. Okay.
Uh-oh.
That happens to be from the 20th to the 26th. That happens to be the period that Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron released to the Financial Times that they're suing me in a Delaware court, right? Not saying that Brigitte or Emmanuel are on this plane. What I'm saying is that could it have been a dignitary that was on this plane, a French dignitary that was on this plane? All options are possible at this point, because guess who owns the hangar? A French company, okay? A French company owns the hangar. So that's interesting. So, go back into this timeline and...
Is it illegal or unlawful? What are you talking about here? So what? They own a hangar. You can make this up. What's going on, Francisco? What's going on, Wyoming gal? How you all doing? Shout out to my mods. I appreciate you all. What's going on, Candia? Eminem said this timeline is created by Candace Owens so she can put up whatever she wants in there, which doesn't make it proof or fact. Exactly. Oh, man. Your comment of the day. See, here's the thing. When she already has the candy asses and the cult followers and the bots. They don't care about definitions of terms. Neither does Candace Owens. But just because you call something a fact or truth or proof does not make it so. She's just typing this stuff up and saying it. It's no different than me saying, Candace, I sent you that letter. I can say that all day. Wouldn't I have to prove that I did? Wouldn't she have to prove that I didn't send it? At some point, one of us going to have to produce some evidence here. But she doesn't want anyone pointing out her lies while she still lies on people. You can't make this up. Oh, shout out to Eminem. Comment of the day, buddy. Comment of the day. You earned it. It's like, and this is the same thing I say every single time with her. And I'm going to keep reiterating this. Just because you say your opinion or you say this is a truth or I discern or I speculate or I feel, and then you say, because this is the truth. No, it's not a truth. You have to have evidence and documentation to make it so. Because you could be telling a lie. She wants people to just believe what she says. Candace, that's a cult. We're not in a cult. We're not over here. Now, your candy ass cult followers come over here, because they enjoyed the banter. Let's be honest. But we're not in a cult. They're not going to take my luxuries down with them. Nope. I'm not letting my people falter and forget what facts and proof and documentation and evidence looks like here. No. So to the candy asses, y'all come over here and have fun. You drive up my engagement. What you will not do is think you're persuading any of my luxers. You're not persuading my people over here. Your weird ass comments about her being rich, she's your queen, whatever. None of that stuff works on me. That don't work over here. So just know you're only over here to be laughed at. And let's get back to it.
Something else happens that's very strange in this constellation. Right after that, by the way, I want to show you this. So odd. Like we were so surprised when we got this. They depart on the 26th from Wilmington, heading back to Cairo. They released it in that period of time that they're suing me. On July 27th, I'm showing you this private communication between my legal team. We were very confused about why this lawsuit was being filed in Delaware. Like not putting anything together. I didn't know about Satis, nothing. This is my lawyer, and he says, here's like the PDF. It's massive. Nothing. We're likely going to try to file a motion to dismiss to stay the case on the grounds that it's inconvenient to litigate in Delaware because you're in Tennessee, your company's in Delaware.
Why didn't you tell them that when you were on Tucker Carlson that you had intentions on filing a motion to dismiss? Why didn't you say that? I'm glad you're listening now. But it shouldn't have to take me to sit here and to tell your people Candace Owens filed a motion to dismiss and a motion to strike the first amended complaint. It's going to get denied, by the way, Candace. I hope you know that. It's going to get denied. Your LLC is there. You're making money under an LLC or a corporation of some sort. registered in that state. So that's that. The same way you had grounds to sue USA Today because USA Today LLC was registered in the state of Delaware. It's the same concept with you. It's just the Macron suing you. Flip it around. It was the same concept when Candace Owens sued USA Today and the Garnett thing. Their LLC was registered in the state of Delaware. That gave her legal standing to sue them in that state. The case was dismissed because she failed to state a claim and failed to meet malice. But it was not because of a lack of jurisdiction. So she understands that concept when she filed the lawsuit against USA Today 2-3 years ago in 2023. But now that she's being sued, all of a sudden she doesn't understand how jurisdiction works. Girl, if you don't kick rocks.
Or to not defame anyone. The witnesses are in Tennessee. The Macrons are not citizens of Delaware. Thus, there's no connection to Delaware. Like, what are we doing in Delaware? We should dismiss in Delaware and say that they have to file where you are, like where they claim that they have been defamed is here in Tennessee. That's so interesting to me in retrospect that we didn't understand why this was happening in Delaware. Anyways.
Your LLCs are there, and that's where the money you're making from the defamation is going under that LLC. Because your YouTube channel is under your Candace Owens LLC. Your merch, your Twitter X accounts, any social media that you have where you're generating revenue and making a profit, you're profitizing off of the defamation as well. All of that is under your LLC, Candace. Why do I have to keep explaining this to you, girl? You have 3 attorneys that should be explaining this to you. So they're going to go after those LLCs where the money is. So when they're asking the jury to grant them judgment in their favor for like $10 million, they can point to the assets that's registered to those LLCs and at Tom Inc., George Tom Inc., and see that you have money sitting there because that's where all the money is funneling to. Do you understand how that works, girl? If not, you got 3 attorneys. You should be asking them questions, not sitting here talking about it on YouTube. You should be asking your attorneys questions. You pay them to give you legal advice and legal counsel. Your attorneys suck.
Moving on to August 1st.
Yeah, because moving on.
Week, Tucker Carlson releases an episode with me. And what goes viral from that episode is that we are discussing the Brigitte case. Tucker is interested. He's watched the series. He believes that Brigitte Macron was born a man, or born a male, rather. And that goes viral, okay? It just goes viral. Gets more people speaking about it. So you can just say a lot of stuff is happening at this time.
Exactly.
Then what we have is in very early August, we know that is when Turning Point is beginning to scout this location for their event. Yep. The school is telling them this is not a great place for you to host this because there's no traffic control here. Turning Point employees insist that it is the best location. Headquarters employees insist that it's the best location. Right? It's Charlie's preferred location. And so it's got to happen. From August 5th to the 6th, that's the notorious Hamptons retreat that took place. Charlie himself described it as an intervention, and Bill Ackman disputes that narrative. Seth Dillon disputes that narrative. Bibi Netanyahu offers to take Turning Point to the next level financially.
Candace, I hope you know that the Macrons are going to bring this up. Everything you say and do can and will be used against you in the court of law. This video will show more proof that you're trying to insinuate that the Macrons are a part of this dumbass conspiracy you created to connect them to the death of Charlie Kirk. Because why else would you even mention them? They sued you before he was shot, girl. There's no conspiracy behind that because you haven't proven it. You typing this stuff up is not proof. You will not be able to factually connect them and to show sufficient evidence in court. This will be objected to all day long. As a matter of fact, I'm sure your attorneys have told you we're not talking about that in court. We're not going to accuse the Macrons of being a part of Charlie Kirk's assassination because you can't prove it. It's not about what you can go in there and say with all that word salad and acting as if you don't understand the difference between man and male. The judge is not going to want to hear that BS. If you don't have any evidence, your attorneys are going to advise you to shut up. I just hope I am able to go in there and see that happen. Because I would love to go see that here and in person. I really would. That would be awesome. I mean, Israel will have to send me $77,000.
Charlie declined that offer. Okay. We fast forward to the 17th. BBT flies again. It does its Nebraska route. Charlie speaking on August 23rd. It again goes through to Wilmington. It stays one night on August 23rd in Wilmington before heading back to Cairo.
Yeah, I'm speeding this up.
September 3rd, Brigitte Macron is basically opening up its Paris Design Week, and she's photographed with the Minister of Culture. We have that.
Are you jealous?
And then drops
off.
What
was that for? What was that for? Candace, don't be jealous of. She's the first lady of France. Why are you jealous? Of course she's going to be in photographs. You know, won't you go out and do a photo shoot, you and George and the kids? What's wrong with you?
On the 4th, we have the BTT flight departing from Paris. Now, I'm going to tell you what's really interesting about that September 3rd date that I forgot to mention before we get to December 4th. President Zelensky is in town also, though. Brigitte Macron welcomes President Zelensky into Paris on September 3rd because there is this remarkable, and I would assume rare, I don't know, but 35 state leaders meet to discuss Ukraine. Securing the security of Ukraine, okay? That's what they're there to do. Brigitte greets him on September 3rd. She also, again, like I said, was with the Minister of Culture. And then we have this flight that leaves from Paris, BTT, leaves from Paris, and it's go time, right? This plane is now going to stay for 6 days, and then it's going to go to Wilmington, Delaware. As you guys know, it's going to stay in Wilmington, Delaware before departing on September 11th after Charlie Kirk's assassination. I find this now to be very interesting. Okay.
No, it's
very
not.
interesting
That's
as to whether or not on that Egyptian, quote unquote, Egyptian plane, there could have been foreigners that are not from Egypt. I think that's pretty obvious that these people are not from Egypt. Okay. I really don't think this was an Egyptian filled plane, whether or not they had Egyptian passports.
Girl, you're going to have all of Egypt trying to file a lawsuit against you. Keep going. She digging a big ass hole for herself. And all them bots you have, none of them will help you get out of it. Most of them aren't real. And the ones that are, they're sending you their paychecks just for reasons. I'm wondering if any of those so-called cult followers, if they ever ask Candace Owens, hey, I need, $10,000 to catch up on my mortgage. Can you please help me? Would she actually even pay them any attention? She would treat you people as if you never lived. She would never help you pay your bills or your mortgage, buy you food, help you with anything. She's not even a philanthropist. I don't even hear this girl giving back to a community or creating scholarships. Since she wants to sit here and talk about student loans being predatory. Candace, when have you created a scholarship to help kids go back to school for journalism and English? She doesn't do anything. She does nothing. Candace does not add to society at all. And now you want to sit here and try to dip and dodge out of a lawsuit. Yeah, keep on. That judge is going to be so disturbed hearing half this crap coming out of her mouth.
Boards or Egyptian names is a whole other story. But people at the state level print IDs, right? Of course, obviously, Jeffrey Epstein had a Saudi Arabian, totally different identification, multiple passports and different names. I am very curious about how that timeline is coming together because we were getting very close to something as we had started on September 8th, by the way, our Becoming Brigitte season 2. And we were looking at how unusual it was that the dog was barking a bit too loud. A thief that nobody was pursuing was running. And that was us discussing the MKUltra program. And Brigitte Macron, strangely, and Emmanuel mentioning MKUltra in the lawsuit to us 18 times struck us as odd as we were trying to determine whether or not it could have been Brigitte Macron that was involved in that Stanford experiment, this prisoner, 2093, that was being protected. We didn't know why this prisoner was being protected. We sensed.
Candace, they probably said it 18 times because you probably said it 18 times in various videos. And they're citing the examples of when you said it. You ever thought about that? Have you even looked at the exhibits they sent you? Because we all know you don't want to accept it. Her attorneys haven't told her to shut the hell up. Okay. Now keep talking, girl.
Somebody there. There seemed to be more.
Giving him more evidence.
What really terrifies me is that if my inclination that Xavier Poussard's messages have been being read and tracked for longer than I even realized, and that's the reason they initially sent that cease and desist in December, was to ward me off sitting down with Xavier Poussard, then what we hadn't yet presented to the audience, but what we were investigating on the back end, if they were aware of that, it really makes me wonder if we were on the right track. And it was something that was so sinister, involving maybe another step of the MKUltra program being used
Can't
to
make
foster
this up.
serial killers and to give serial killers new identities and allowing them to run in countries. That was kind of conversations that I was having in the background with Xavier. And we thought that we had perhaps identified Brigitte Macron at Stanford University, a possibility is what I would say. We were maybe at 50%. And then suddenly Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. It totally throws us off of the scent entirely because we're trying to figure out what happened to Charlie. And now, strangely, trying to figure out what happened to Charlie has brought us back to a France question, right?
No, it hasn't. You're just trying to connect it because you don't want to pay the lawsuit. You don't want to be sued. That doesn't stop anything. Do you understand, Candace? None of this malarkey, the word I haven't used in a while, none of this malarkey is going to stop the Macrons from pursuing this lawsuit in a court of law, because you don't get to dictate anyone's right to due process, to be able to file a complaint to the court, to seek legal resolution. You do not dictate that, Candace. You're trying to infringe upon someone's right to due process, to go to the court and to seek some sort of legal resolution. They have every right to do that. You're the one defaming them, and you so happen to live in our country. We're still wondering when you're going to go to Russia, because, you know, you say you're going to go to Russia. Are you going to take all the candy-ass cult followers with you? We'll help y'all pack. Can't make this
Why
up.
on earth did France move? I mean, who wants to lease a hangar in Wilmington, Delaware for 2 years to paint planes? Ostensibly, we're supposed to believe that this was a maintenance stop. But as the tip proved to us yesterday, that wasn't the case. That was a front, because that had not been operative from 2021 all the way forward to the end of 2024. So literally, that plane was still making stops in Wilmington, Delaware, and there was no lease to that. And these were federally controlled waterways where that hangar is situated. And we learned that this is a building where there's cooperation between the feds, Homeland Security. And
yeah, this building right here. Yeah, because this building right here, this is the building, 920 North King Street, where her attorneys have a whole office. As a matter of fact, they probably take up a large portion of this building because their name is right at the damn top. Yep. Their name is right at the top of this damn marquee. She's still not saying that, Candace. You still not going to sit here and tell them, look how long it took you to tell them that you filed a motion to dismiss. I don't know if the candy asses picked that up or not, but she just admitted to you all she filed the motion to dismiss. She's just now admitting that. Candace, you want to sit here and still pretend like you don't have any connections to this building? Seriously? Yeah, no. This is the same building where the CIA, the DHS, DOJ, who else she said? FBI. All the, yeah, this is the same building right here, y'all. Same building right here. She said we learned. That means I made this up. This is the same building, Candace, where her attorney's office is located. Richards, Layton, and Finger. Her attorneys right here in this building that's representing her for the Macron lawsuit. Her attorneys are going to be so pissed when they get through watching my video and see my thumbnail. They're gonna be like, oh, great. Lady Luck Club put us on her thumbnail. Now everybody knows exactly where we work because she gave out you all's address. Candace, did you enjoy that letter, girl? Oh, man. Candace, did you enjoy that letter? I laughed the entire time. This is insane. Candace, you going to tell them that your attorneys are here in the building? How is this going to go? How bad is this going to get, girl? Yeah, okay. Let's get back to it. But yeah, Candace Owens' attorneys are in this building. She's not telling you all that. So she's lying by omission. Yeah. Because we can all do that, Candace. We can all say the same thing. Lying by omission.
And also contractors, independent contractors, which means people that are not a part of our government's apparatus. So the question becomes, who was the foreign dignitary that was escorted on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination to 920 King Street? Is it plausible that for whatever reason, Charlie allowing Tucker Carlson to hit the stage and to say that made Charlie a bigger problem than us? I have to tell you guys, in my gut of guts, there is something unbelievably I just look at Brigitte Macron and I am telling you, you are looking at an utter psychopath in my view. There's something dark. There is something deep there. I see it in the eyes, in the performance of this all. That the response in France has been to start to harass people
Candace.
who came out and tried to tell the story, to effectively ruin their lives, to go after their finances, to debank them. The strange circumstances of some people who have tried to touch story, and we've covered this also in our series, that wound up dead. Something is not right. And what terrifies me the most, by the way, is how far the length that they are going through to protect Brigitte. Who the hell is Brigitte Macron? Okay, because it ain't Brigitte Trogneau. I can tell you that for free. Who is this person? Because
everything we will know for free, because all the court documents will be available to the public. So if you and your attorneys decide to mediate with the Macrons and try to settle for an undisclosed amount, please understand, I will be the first to say I told you so, and I'm going to clown you until you can't take it anymore. You want to sit here and talk about what somebody looked like, Candace? I'll just give you all just a preview of what would make me very happy. Yeah. This here. This is the look of Candace in court, realizing that all the dumb things she said, the chickens are coming home to roost, girl. Who the hell does she think she is right here to think that she was not going to get caught? Candace, you're going to lose that lawsuit. You understand me? You cannot lie on someone being born a man with no scientific evidence to back it up. I don't care about none of that crap you're talking about, and neither does Judge Rennie. This is the look of a woman who thought that she had a point to prove, and she didn't. And she effed around and then found out. Yo, this is the look of a woman who just said, what did he just say? $30 million granted to the plaintiff. What the hell? This is the look of a woman who said flat out, yeah, George is not going to be happy at all. I wish I would have just made him a damn sandwich. She going to be texting him, George, it's $25 million. I mean, are you able to just write a check for that or something? He going to divorce her ass. Here's a dear. I know they said it was, for sickness and health and death until death do us part. But I had no idea you would catapult us into, the poorhouse. I had no idea that was your game plan. What were you thinking? Why didn't you make me a sandwich? It would have been easier, dear. You can't make this. Yeah. This is the look of a woman who's realizing my life just came to a halt. I'm gonna lose everything. Everything. Okay, Candace, two can play this game, girl. I keep telling you that. You can't make this. Yeah, keep talking shit about the first lady who's done nothing wrong to you. This woman is over 70 years old with children and grandchildren. She didn't ask for any of this nonsense. She didn't ask for you and the two French journalists that she also sued, to whom she has an actual active pending appeal sitting with the court to appeal the decision that they made, that they actually were trying to exercise free speech. There's an appeal pending. She didn't ask for any of that. Over 70 years old, leave her alone. Leave her alone. She's lived 70 years on earth and never had to worry about defending her motherhood or her womanhood. Why are you bothering her? Of all the first ladies in every country on earth, you decided to mess with the one in France for no rhyme or reason. You could have done the same thing with Melania Trump. I dare you. Please try to do the same thing with Melania Trump, so all of MAGA can come and whoop your ass. You can't make this up.
power
won't do it
is allowing
willingly,
us
though.
to see how illusory it all is.
can't
They would
make this
rather
up,
protect
man.
Brigitte, even though the whole world no longer believes that Brigitte Macron was born a female, right? But
That's
they
a
would
lie.
rather risk the
You're a lie.
entire thing coming undone than just say, okay, maybe we took it too far. Let's get Macron out of office and put somebody else in there that we can control. They are taking
can't
this
make
way
this up.
too far. The reality is that these countries that have so much
Jermaine's
power
doing
and these leaders that have been in place and these systems that have been in place, yeah, and part of it is because of how much money they have and the lengths they will go through to keep things a secret. But the thing that they are forgetting is perception is 9/10 of the law, right? They have been able to do so much and to conduct so much evil because people around the world actually didn't believe that evil existed, right?
What?
Actually didn't believe that, yeah. And part of it is because of how much money they have and the lengths they will go through to keep things a secret. But the thing that they are forgetting is perception is 9/10 of the law, right? They have been.
Perception is 9/10 of the law. You're going to find that out the hard way, girl. That the law is based on facts and evidence, not your perception, though. So here's the burden that they have. It's 51% convincing because their burden is a preponderance of the evidence. If they come in with irrefutable evidence such as scientific DNA, Candace, do you understand? They won't need anything else. There's nothing you could say. There's no testimony you could offer. There's no Q&A or deposition you can provide that would literally irrefutably disprove that their scientific DNA is not sufficient. Because court is not YouTube and YouTube is not court. So let her go there and think that if she wants to. You about to find out. You about to find out what that burden is for real. Because that's not the burden of proof. You can have your perception all you want. But when it's provably false and you're doing it with a malicious intent, a reckless disregard for the truth. See, what Candace is forgetting is definitions of terms. Legal definitions of terms. So she's ignoring the fact that when it comes to defamation, and because they are public figures, there is another layer to prove regarding the malicious intent. But see, they've already met those requirements, Candace, when they were sending you photos and the birth announcement and corrections and debunking your nonsense, and then you wanted an interview. You were asking for more photos. You were just simply showing that you weren't being amendable or accepting of the truth. You just rejected it for reasons. You couldn't justifiably give a reason why you were rejecting the photos. But you demanded an interview. They didn't have to give you that. You wanted the blood of the first lady. Remember that? That video is going to be played as evidence against you in court, Candace. And you will have no excuse because this is your logic when it comes to the law. You're saying that perception is 9/10 of the law. 90%. Okay. Why don't you keep that energy up and just go to court? Stop whining and crying about it. Go to court and let it happen so they can present their scientific evidence. And I can get rocking with these videos to keep up with that case because I'm going to keep up with it like white on rice. And I don't care how you feel. A lie is a lie. Doesn't matter who you lying on. No one likes to see someone being lied on this horrifically. You're taking away her motherhood. And you don't want anyone to do that to you. And as opposed to you even thinking twice about this, you're doubling down. So this is what you get, Candace. They sued you. They sued you. And they're going to get paid millions of dollars. You and George might as well just go ahead and clear that with your accountant and kick rocks. You're going to have to chalk that up. She's not going to win. You're going to lose, Candace. After they present their scientific DNA, you're done.
Able to do so much and to conduct so much evil because people around the world actually didn't believe that evil existed, right? The illusion was very important. Now they are violating the illusion and just hoping that money is going to fix this. Money's not going to fix this, okay? Killing people more is actually going to catalyze the understanding that we're all having that there is something very dangerous, something deep and dark that is going on.
Candace, you're going to have to pay them the money. Whatever the court orders you to pay as a judgment, just like with the High Court of Australia. Did you pay that judgment in the High Court of Australia? You had to pay the government's court costs there. because you thought that they were supposed to let you in and you could just appeal a visa ban. Did you pay that judgment? I'm still looking for any information to see exactly how much the judgment is. But Candace, you owe the High Court of Australia some money. You were ordered to pay a judgment out, a monetary judgment, meaning money. You got to give them money. She's not giving up a whole lot of lip service about the High Court of Australia, if you all haven't noticed. Somehow, Australia is not being implicated in this at all. Candace, you're going to lose, and you're going to have to pay up a judgment. That means money. The end. Kick rocks. You and Georgia worth $244 million. You'll be all right.
On. And the themes that were in this Brigitte story are now in this Charlie Kirk story. So many people involved here having a history of child sex abuse. It's just not normal. How many times does this come up in the Charlie Kirk story? Whether you're talking about George Zinn or the person that jumped up and screamed, or the pastors, the Calvary Chapel, that for whatever reason kept getting into these scandals that we went over the other day. That does not, to me, feel like a coincidence. So
I'll show you
are they just so arrogant that they think that money is going to make this go away? You have to do the right thing. You have to make people believe that real justice can be served. Okay. And right now, we are getting a sense that
no, justice is going to be served, because you'll learn every time you keep lying on people, you have to pay out tens of millions of dollars, and you can only do that but for so long, girl. That's why all of Turning Point USA needs to file a class action against you, and then just kind of seal the deal, because that's the only way you're going to learn. You got to get hit in the pockets, Candace. Because they tried to send you evidence. They tried to send you documentation, photos, and all these other things, and you kept dismissing it. So this is the way you're going to learn. And the judge is going to be really irritated hearing these videos of you being this arrogant and cocky, not showing any remorse, and thinking, I'm just going to guilt trip everybody to think, I can't believe they're trying to make me pay money for this. We can't believe you keep lying about someone being born a man with no scientific evidence. But yet, here we are. So yes, justice will be served in the form of a monetary judgment, and probably a kibosh on you ever saying that again, because you understand they'll probably just come back and sue you some more. You'll learn. Oh, you'll learn that lesson. It's going to hurt, Candace, but you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just pay the money.
That doesn't even seem to be a plausibility, and that things are becoming even more extreme. More money is being spent in trying to get us to invest in a fiction. I don't know. It just seems like it's all coming undone. And so I wanted to express that to you guys.
She gonna learn today.
We should prod that narrative more. We should learn more about that company, Satis. We should see, we are receiving a bunch of tips about that company, and we are going to chase down those leads, because it's very difficult once I put that in the timeline for me to simply ignore the France angle. Obviously, France would know. They should be able to just help us out. I'm sure they should be able to reach out to France and say, hey, he purchased.
Nope. They don't owe you shit, girl. You know what? I'm so glad you said this, kind of. Alex Jones got hit in the pockets, but he keeps going. Some people never learn. Yeah, but he's got to pay what? $100 million or something? See, the thing is, Candace Owens actually cares about being hit with that type of judgment. He didn't. And now he's got to work the rest of his life. She's going to have to pay the money. $1 billion. Yuck. You're doing yuck. Was it $1 billion? It can't be that much. Candace, you about to learn today, girl. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. If you haven't learned anything from Alex Jones, you're going to learn. Oh, yes. And that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. Turning Point USA, you all don't have to be scared of her. Who is Candace Owens? She ain't nobody. She married a man with wealth. They ain't going to hurt her. She's not going to miss out on a mortgage payment. I just want you all to know that. They got multiple properties and everything. Child proof.
This hangar, I mean, you decided to lease this hangar for 2 years, very short time, to paint some planes. Could you tell us who landed in Wilmington, Delaware, and was shuttled over?
No, they don't owe you
910
that.
King?
No.
I
Nope.
think that would be a good start.
Nope.
Anyways, we'll be right back, and I'll tell you about Brian Harple's big lie when we come out of a few sponsors. All right, you guys, we know that
I'm not trying to hit none of your sponsors.
Longer, and these misrepresentations are, of course, lies. So Brian Harple obviously sat down with Sean Ryan, and he tried to explain how things went wrong and how it wasn't fair, and woe is them, millions of dollars that we received. But this is actually the fault of UVU police, right? It's actually the fault of this Chief Long. Now, I had a lead on this for a few weeks from within Turning Point USA. Many people obviously leading within the organization, but I wanted something a bit more solid. Like they were telling me that they knew for certain that the security did some abnormal things that day. Personally, unless I am certain as it pertains to Turning Point USA, I try not to speak on it. But as it turns out, security people are getting fired or getting moved around at Turning Point, and people's families are getting threatened. And so people in the security apparatus are starting to speak. And now we are certain. What? So foremost, jog your memory of what he said, what Brian Harpole said to Sean Ryan. He describes a communication that, and he says it in a very odd way. I can tell you right now, the reason why he describes his communication with the chief of the UVU police in an odd way is because it's not his communication. He's actually presenting a text message between Dan Flood and Chief Long. Take a listen to how he says it.
On Monday before, this correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. He comes back, and for edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center. And so he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof. And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible. He comes back and his last correspondence was, I got you covered. What else am I to do? When a command level person from an accredited police department says, I've got this area. Jeez.
Oh, pick me. So I could confirm to you guys that something else that they could have done would have.
Yeah, because that's what Candace wants to be, the pick me girl. She wants to be pick me when it comes to a gag order, pick me when it comes to being CEO of Turning Point USA, pick me when it comes to being the wife of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, she wants to be the pick me girl. Just as an FYI, Candace wants to invoke herself in this in every way imaginable, except the actual investigation, because she's already made clear she does not care about that. Candace, if you don't care about the investigation, why are you even playing this part of the video? Because much of the evidence and the information has been turned over to the feds. If you don't care about the investigation, then why even speak on it?
Been to at least walk around UVU when they arrived. They didn't. Never did a walkthrough. And I can also tell you that this is a severe misrepresentation, because the reason why he says Sorensen, and obviously many people picked up on this, like Losey is supposedly where the student got up on the roof. So why would Sorensen even matter? Well, apparently, and again, I confirmed this with security inside of Turning Point. There somehow happened to be a leak, and so they can't dispute this. But actually, Dan Flood was primarily and only concerned with the flag of halls, which is behind. That's what was behind Charlie. So I'm going to actually show you this, what they're referring to and why he says Sorensen. I don't know if your mouse can move here. I don't know if you're able to do that. It's okay if you can't. But you can see up there on the right where it says Sorensen Student Center. Well, there is a way, as you can see, to get down and get across to the walkway. And that's what they wanted to secure. They wanted to secure and to make sure that nobody had access above Charlie's head. And that's why he says the walkway. He knew that, by the way. Obviously, he knew the context of that. It's very strange that he's reading that off of his phone as if it's on his phone and he had the communication. That's fundamentally dishonest. He should have said, this text message happened between Dan Flood and Jeff Law.
Oh, it's fundamentally dishonest for you to not say that your attorneys work in that same building that you're claiming 3 agencies work in. Yeah, because this freeze frame is epic. Candace, this is fundamentally dishonest to leave this out. To leave out the fact that your attorneys representing you in the Macron lawsuit, where you're still insinuating now the entire country of France, I guess, because of a hanger. Your attorneys are working in the same building. Some random mysterious letter give it to you with this address on it. You know, ironically, the irony of it all. I hope you enjoyed that letter, girl. You can't make this up. So when you lie by omission, you can't call it what it is, Candace. But somehow this man is lying because he didn't make it clear that this was not a text message that was sent to him directly. Didn't he say that?
And here's what it was pertaining to, or he should have showed more, but he couldn't show more. And, you know, Sean Ryan got played. He did. And he should be upset that he got played, because they're basically using him to Just
So he had nothing with it. You're off script and you're stuttering. So he had nothing to do with it then. So why are you trying to implicate him in this? So he got played. Candace, you got played as well. You get played every day. You go into that tip hotline and you think you're actually getting tips. You get played every day. You read something out of there. You know, that so-called mommy sleuth, impersonating officers and all this other stuff. Want to be investigators? Yeah. 15 hours of research and not one single shred of documentation out of it. or the letter. Was that fun to read, Candace? I'm just trying to figure out if you had a good time reading that letter.
propagandize the situation and pretend that they're somehow the victims. Something else that is very strange that I was told early on when all these leaks were coming is that not only did Turning Point not walk the campus when they got there, I'm referring to the security, but also the only thing that Dan Flood apparently cared about was making sure that their SUVs had clear access behind Charlie, in and out access. So they were not concerned about any other rooftops. They were not concerned about walking to make sure that they had access to other rooftops, obviously, or to make sure that they could see what points it was that the people could just walk onto the courtyard. They weren't concerned any of that. All they cared about.
Candace, it was 3,000 people there and at least 6 roofs to be concerned about right within their vicinity around the courtyard itself. This boy was over 160 yards away. So don't you think he feels bad already? You just say he got played. Why are you still trying to blame this on him when he already feels bad that he lost someone that he's known for 8 years, that he considered a friend, and that he was tasked with protecting? He can't control the local PD. And you've admitted that that text message was not between him and the chief. It was between another person and the chief. Obviously, one of them sent it to him. So what is your issue and gripe with him? What are you saying he's lying about here? And he made it clear that it was not a message between him and the chief. You didn't watch the video, just like you didn't read the indictment. This is all coming from the thunkhead that does not care about the investigation. And this is quoting you out of your own mouth and has not read the indictment. So, what are you talking about all this for? You know, it was funny when you were whining and complaining about the Macron lawsuit.
For whatever reason, was the flag of halls, controlled access to the flag of halls. I'm wondering if that reason is because, this is really interesting, but I told you, it's kind of strange that there were only 2 videos of people that saw the alleged shooter on the roof that sprinted off of Pelosi. I found that to be quite strange. There were a lot of people there that day, a lot of action that was caught. There wasn't even any more testimonies that came out. And when we hunted down the origin of those videos, I found it strange that those students who shot it didn't post it themselves. They went through third-party people, fourth-party people. One person, both of them, jumped through multiple hoops to get that video out. And when we tracked those people down, both of those students or non-students were in the military, right? ROTC. I found that to be very interesting and compelling. And I am wanting to know more about what was happening in that Hall of Flags. Something is off here. There seemed to be a lot of buzz about the Hall of Flags. Even that Indian kid that we had showed you was taking that shot, who said like, "Oh, I didn't know Charlie, but he was really popular." Was posting all of these.
That's a good question. I don't know if she's getting leaks or not from Turning Point at this point, because this girl, even if you let's say this. Here's a scenario. Let's say someone sent her some information. They sent her 2 or 3 emails to say, this seems suspicious. Look how she takes it and explodes it into something else. She tries to alter the meaning of it and doesn't read either the full email or doesn't say who it comes from or doesn't give full context. When she shows video clips, she only plays certain parts to fit her moot point. Candace, you should look up the definition of the word moot. That is the word of the day. Moot. M-O-O-T. She plays the clips to try to fit her moot point. And it still does not prove anything of substance. She does all of this. And it's manipulation at best. And at worst can be defamatory if you're saying someone lied. But she doesn't even take the information that's given to her, even if they were to send her a leak and just release it as is. Like when I posted up the email from the University of Rhode Island, Candace, I posted the entire email response. I didn't just post up parts of it. I posted up the entire email. That's how you put out information, whether you like it or not. And I still have questions about these degrees because I have a lot of questions. But I posted the information I was sent. That is something that Candace does not comprehend. So even if there's a leak sending her an email or two, she's not even showing us the emails. She's alleging she has leaks. And then she just reads information off of her laptop screen, except that letter she printed out yesterday. Hope you have fun with that, Candace. But she prints that out and then skips all over it and decides I'm just not going to read certain parts of it. Whole thing could be fake, made up. But even with something like that, she doesn't give the full context of it. She also said she has leaks in the FBI. So you got agents that might be getting, fired and losing their jobs because you're going to have some confidant or be somebody's source that you wanted to be with Candace Owens. Are you kidding? That would just be a huge insult to the FBI. They should get fired for being stupid enough to partner up with Candace Owens. But she doesn't even give the full picture. So those that she's sitting here claiming she's, in good standing with, I guess they feel safe because this whole idea of her committing cyber crimes and doxing people is something she can't legally define still. And it's something she's using as fear to get just fearmonger people. She's keeping people in fear of saying anything any differently. So if she calls and then some random person just answers the phone and they realize they're on the phone with Candace, now it's like you feel obligated to. It's almost like by force. If she has leaks, I don't think they're willing participants. I think they're only either scared that she's going to dox them or say something about them. They don't want to get cyber harassed. They don't want to be bullied. They don't want to be doxed. Or whomever she has there, they might just be trolling her as well. I hope it's the second option, not the first. I'd rather they say, yeah, I'm a leak. Yeah. And then they troll the hell out of her and just tell her whatever. But I can't fathom someone being a true leak at Turning Point, giving her credible information, knowing what she's doing and how she's handling information she does get. I can't foresee that. Like, hopefully no one there is that dumb to give her credible information. And it's like she's telling what sounds salacious, what's entertaining, what's more compelling, what's going to get her more views. She's not interested in just, here's the truth. Like, it's so crazy. So either they're scared, they're being bullied, or forced into this, or they're trolling the crap out of it and they're just selling or whatever. To which I'm all for that, Candace. I'm all for you being trolled. Yes, I am. Because you don't vet your tips. I hope you enjoyed the letter, girl.
Videos and somehow gave his videos to the news. He was in the flag of halls, or the hall of flags, pardon me. I think more needs to be known about what was going down in the hall of flags, and I intend to find out what that was. But
the hall of flags,
Turning Point's security completely dropped the ball. And they knew they dropped the ball. And yet they then tried to pass that off by misrepresenting text messages. Why? Why is he protecting Dan Flood? Why isn't Dan Flood speaking?
Prove that.
Has Dan Flood been fired from Turning Point USA? Was this actually just a propagandist mission to sit down with Sean Ryan and to lie and misrepresent? Everybody's instincts were correct about that interview. We are still being told lies by Turning Point. Now, beyond that.
No, they're just saying that you're lying. The end. Candace, you're the liar. The end. You don't work there. You're not the CEO. Erica Kirk is. Candace, I plan on rubbing this in your face as much as I can. Every day Erica Kirk wakes up. She wakes up knowing that she is the CEO and the board of the chairman of Turning Point USA and its subsidiaries. You're not. You're not important there. Erica Kirk will not recognize your existence on earth. She hasn't said your name. She doesn't care what you think or how you feel. And if you keep releasing her deceased husband's medical information, without her consent, she will sue you and still not say your name. I just want you to know that. That's set with love, girl.
This is crazy. This broke in Utah. So the story goes, and I told you that story was BS, but what the feds told us was that, you know, grandpa's gun was missing, and then a friend called, and the dad, Tyler Robinson's dad, recognized his own son and then turned his son in. And I told you that was a lie. That's not how things went down. And I was called a liar, and no one believed that I had sources. Well, now, mysteriously, the footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself in, which should in theory show his dad and him walking in, his dad turned him in. Remember that storyline? Well, it doesn't seem like we're ever going to be able to get that footage because it's now missing, ? Take a listen to KUTV News investigating.
On September 17th, 2025, Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby held a press conference.
Our job was not to interview. Our job was just to get him here.
After Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter was taken into custody in Washington County less than 2 days after the shooting.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives.
After learning of this, I submitted a public records request to obtain any video of Tyler Robinson walking into the jail facility. Washington County responded saying there were no records responsive to the request, as Robinson did not go to the jail area. Our request for any holding room video was denied. A few weeks later, I re-upped the request on a more generalized scale for surveillance video showing Tyler Robinson walking into the sheriff's office.
For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available.
The response? Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period.
If in fact it has been destroyed and not preserved, it's very concerning. And if it has, then it's very concerning that they're telling you they don't have it. If they no longer have it, I would have expected to say that this video has been provided to the Utah County law enforcement. Please contact them. But instead, this letter leads, in my opinion, as trying to shut the door and not give you free access to the press.
While it's not clear if the video exists and was just handed over to another agency, in a response to me, Washington County shared with me they don't believe the video was shared with anyone involved in the case.
Wanting to get videos showing that he turned himself in and the manner he did so would be crucial for the defense work of mitigation.
I don't know, guys. We just can't get one verifiable piece of evidence that Tyler Robinson even exists. Does he even exist? I think it's a fair question. Is he just an AI app? Does Tyler Robinson even exist at this point? Feels like a fair question because we can't get one clear image. And now, which good on them for realizing, oh wait, actually we can put in a gamma request and figure out whether we can just watch him turn himself in. That's a big part of the story. Heroic dad marches.
Candace, you're a clown, girl. You're such a clown. Just because you tapped out into some alternate reality does not mean that in this reality on Earth, this whole grown human male does not exist. What are you talking about? Let's not forget, Candace was not there when Charlie Kirk was shot. She's never met Tyler James Robinson. She doesn't even believe he pulled the trigger. And now she's trying to somehow talk him out of existence. Trying to allege he's AI. Your idiot cult followers are going to start parroting that nonsense, you moron. There is a whole person sitting in jail named Tyler James Robinson that is being charged with the murder of Charlie Kirk. And you're sitting here making a mockery of it, dancing around in your chair, saying, oh, does he even exist? Is this even AI? I'm sorry, the person that you allege to have pulled the trigger, Candace, is who now? Because you're saying Tyler Robinson didn't pull the trigger. Who's the person that did? Here's a better question, Candace. Where's the video where you said that Tyler James Robinson was walking down the street with a woman? Where's that video? And who is that woman? Does that person even exist? Candace's best friend is someone that has been a figment of her imagination for the last 25 years. Yeah, I'm inclined to believe that Candace Owens has at least 7 voices in her head. 2 of them are her best friends. Whatever friendship she thought she had with Charlie Kirk was just a figment of her imagination. She wants all of us to be forced to believe. You know, Kansas, we can all go there, girl. 2 can play this game.
Because we can't get one clear image. And now, which good on them for realizing, oh wait, actually we can put in a gamma request and figure out whether we can just watch him turn himself in. That's a big part of the story. Heroic dad marches his son in and says, here he is. And I told you that was all crap. So what actually happened? What actually?
You saying it's all crap does not make it true. Guess what, Candace? Because you dingus, you're not able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt either that he is not the shooter. Are you trying to throw this case intentionally or what? It's like she's just doing it in our faces. Never mind Erica Kirk, the one that he actually married because he didn't choose you. Oh, yes, Candace, I'm going to sear this in. Charlie Kirk did not choose you, girl. You weren't worthy. You were not worthy. You married some dude you had only known for 18 days, who ironically ended up being the chairman of Turning Point UK for what? Not even 2 full years? Then he has this company where he's basically into hedge funds. Oh, I've already started researching him. It's going to be fun when I release the video about George Farmer. And you're sitting here clowning the idea that Tyler Robinson did not do it and saying someone else did, but you can't say who, nor can you produce a shred of evidence to prove otherwise. You want everybody else to do it for you because you're incompetent, you clown. See, we can all do this, Candace.
Happened. He also can't appear in person. He's appearing electronically, doesn't have to put his video on, or court hearings. What is going on? How dare they call anything that we are covering a conspiracy theory? The conspiracy theory.
How dare they? It's a conspiracy theory, Candace. You're a conspiracy theorist. Everything you say is a conspiracy. You theorize everything and nothing is real. It's a conspiracy. It's a figment of your imagination. It is fake. It is false. You have no evidence to prove. Did you enjoy reading that letter? Yeah, there's more trolling to come, girl. More trolling to come, girl. As a matter of fact, the trolling is about to ramp up. All those tips you're getting in your emails, you're going to wish that you had never even created those emails, girl. You're about to get trolled until you can't take it anymore. Yeah.
What it is right now. I don't want you guys to be conspiracy theorists. The conspiracy theory is that Tyler Robinson, who did not attend UVU, had never been UVU campus, packed up his car that day, jumped onto a rooftop, figured out how to jump around like Spider-Man, and just knew exactly where Charlie Kirk would be seated, despite having never been there. Took one shot with 30-06 that got stopped because Charlie eats spinach. And then he swallowed it, actually, because it actually ricocheted down into his.
She's making mockery of this. You're making a mockery of this, you clown. And yet you're scared of a defamation lawsuit. You're talking about matters that you still don't understand, a criminal matter. And you're making a mockery of it. I think it's reasonable to say that he pre-planned this whole route, that he had been on the campus prior to September 10th, that he had already placed the gun up on the roof, that he knew the routes, that he at least studied the pathway he was going to take to get up there. Those things can be documented with camera footage, surveillance footages, and videos, eyewitnesses. What she is not doing is providing any evidence to prove that it was someone else. None, not a shred of evidence to show it was someone else that can be used in court to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Once again, Candace, why would you want the bad guy out there on the street? If you think someone else pulled the trigger, why the hell would you not want that person in jail already? You won't tell us who actually pulled the trigger? So now you're a selfish prick and a soulless simp from hell? Oh, once again, Erica Kirk is Charlie Kirk's wife. He didn't pick you. You weren't worthy. You understand? She's the CEO of Turning Point USA. You will never be that. You understand that? And no matter how many times you try to insinuate Turning Point USA, she's still the CEO. She does not have to take the heat from you because you're not bringing any facts. And she does not even have to say your name. She's not entertaining your buffoonery. She won't even respond to you because she's better than you, Candace. Erica Kirk is better than you. And you know it.
His stomach. He then makes a hasty retreat into a Dairy Queen where he texts every minute of what he did to his lover. And then despite going home to his lover, he decides the next day to still text his lover more about his dad. Yeah, that
Hey,
makes sense. Yeah,
Berea.
he's home, but they're still texting more because like that's what you should do as opposed to just
I know,
talking to him
right?
face to face. And
Berea
he wanted to get away
babes.
with it. And he expresses that, but at the same time, despite the fact that he's got like a 4.3 GPA and he's like a boy genius, he just decides to write every minute of the crime that he had just committed to his love. That's actually the conspiracy theory. Like that's the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. I don't want you guys to believe that. That's crazy. That is totally crazy stuff.
Don't nobody care what you want us to believe. We're going to believe what the facts say. Why don't you prove that the other person, whoever, whatever figment of your imagination, pulled that trigger, Candace? Why don't you show evidence to show that it was one of those voices in your head? And then we'll take it from here. Okay. Provide the evidence that someone else did it. And then we'll go from there. Because see, we all want the bad guy off the street. Because Erica Kirk and her 2 children, who are small kids, are under a protection order. If there are any other accomplices or co-conspirators, you're talking about someone else pulled the trigger. Why don't you show the evidence? That's what you were supposed to be looking into, you so-called fake wannabe journalist. Shout out to Berean Babes. How you doing? If I could get one of the mods to drop the YouTube channel link for Berean Babes, fantastic content creator. Thank you for tuning in. Anyone else that is a content creator, please just let us know, and we will make sure that you get some support sent your way. How people go out and check your content, and you know, if you enjoy the content there, subscribe, hit the like button, all those great things. Same things I ask of you all over here. Hit the like button. It's free to do. Hit the like button, including the candy asses, because you all know you enjoy the banter. That's why you're here. Hit the like button. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're almost done. We're almost done. And I'm still working on the video about George Farmer. Candace, it's going to be epic, girl. It's going to be epic. Because we all know you don't give a damn anyway. George Farmer, in case you didn't know, Candace really wanted to be married to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I said it.
Anyways, we'll be right back and respond to some of your questions and comments. Now, in all the time that I've been endorsing my
all right, that's it. So she comes back with questions and comments. I'm not here for that. Listen, y'all. Child, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Candace, I have to give you the honorary title of this photo here. We got to give you the honorary Umar Johnson photo. Y'all say hello to Candace Owens, the Monopoly Man. Say hello to Candace Owens, the Monopoly Man. There you go, Candace. That's you, girl. That's all you, girl. This is something else. This is Candace Owens now. Y'all, you can't tell the resemblance. Candace Owens is the new Umar Johnson. You know, it's ironic because Umar, you know, claims that he tried to open a school in Wilmington, Delaware, which he never did. He lied about that. Now Candace Owens has got a whole lawsuit against the president of another country because he kept lying about this man's wife being born a man, taking away her motherhood and, you know, her womanhood, and not caring about her children or grandchildren that have to hear this BS. Nope. You didn't care about none of that damage you causing, Candace. All that mental and emotional distress. Words you can't comprehend. Shout out to Candace Owens, a.k.a. Umar, the Monopoly Man. See, Candace too can play this game. What's to stop me from saying that you're not him here? Candace, what's to stop you from us from saying you're not him here? Oh no, y'all, this is him. And who's Jermaine Stewart? You keep saying show pick of Jermaine Stewart. You mean Jermaine Shoemake? Umar? Y'all. Team Umar right here. This is Candace Owens. Okay. This is it. Jermaine Stewart, aka Candace Owens. There you go. Yeah, you can't make this up. Candace, see, we get to all do this. We all get to do this. Oh, he's a singer? Jermaine Stewart's a singer. All right, we'll pull it up tomorrow. And email me. This is Jermaine Stewart. Yeah, because obviously I'm having a little disconnect. I thought y'all was talking about Jermaine Shoemake. I was thinking Jermaine Shoemake. I don't know why. Jermaine Stewart. That sounds like a whole nother person. Y'all let me know. Honestly, they look alike. Yeah, Candace, this is you right here, girl. Tomorrow? No. What? Who's Jermaine Stewart? Do I have to Google? Hold on. Let me Google Jermaine Stewart. Oh, because you all are asking. I spoil you all so much. Jermaine Stewart. Candace. Girl. Oh, my dear Watson. Hold on. Yeah, I'm about to do one better. Hold on. It's coming. Candace, the Lucksters are 2 steps ahead of you, girl. Ooh. Candace, this is going to be my thumbnail for the next video on you, girl. Oh, yes. Well done. Y'all. Well done. Hold on. I got you now. It took me a minute, but we got it. We good. Yep. I kept seeing it, and I was like, what the heck they talking about? Yep. We got it, y'all. Hold on. Hold down the Lucksters. 180 y'all watching. Y'all about to be in for a treat. Y'all ready? Here you go. Y'all, say hello to Candace Owens. Ah! Keep me near the cross. Y'all, it's got boy on the sweater and everything. You can't make this up. Oh my God. We caught Candace on a good day, y'all. Candace forgot to shave that little mustache. Oh, my stomach hurt. Well done, Ann. Well done. John, well done. Y'all. Oh my God. The Lucksters are undefeated. We're undefeated. Candy asses, y'all can kick rocks. George first, man. Candace, we can do the same thing. Candace, see? We can do it too, girl. You want to see him call Brigitte Macron a man, and then you putting up the picture of E.T. in a wig. Yeah, okay. So here's Candace Owens in her heyday. Back in the 80s, early 90s. I don't think her hair was fully trimmed. Like, she just got through living with the black mold for 6 months in the apartment. The apartment, Candace, you didn't pay rent for 6 going on 7 months. Well, the rent was $3,550 a month. Candace, this is what happens when you live with mold by your own doing. All because you wanted to run the air and leave the windows open. Whoo, child. I never knew that Candace Owens looked so much like Jermaine Stewart. But boy, do we know today. Candace, girl. Whoo, child. You can't make this up. This is something else right here. And well done, y'all. Well done. The mustache is black mold. That's it. Yep. Y'all, let's zoom in. See, here's the effects of black mold on the human body. You get a little mustache. I see a beard down there. Child, boo. Everything else look the same. The bracelets, the arm, the hair, the eyes, the nose, all of this. Candace, girl, why you didn't tell us you went through such a transformation? Ain't God good? This transformation is incredible, Candace. God is so good. You know, because she would get mad as hell if you call her a man. That transformation is so, God is so good, girl. It's such a blessing to be transformed. Candace, hopefully you've learned you can't live with black mold, okay? I don't know how those yeast infections went for you that you claim were recurrent, and then you had LASIK surgery and all this other stuff. Something obviously went wrong with those LASIK surgeries, y'all. I'm telling you all right now. The doctor must have sneezed when he went around the face, around this area right here. Then the doctor said, "Achoo," and he forgot to get the mustache. The doctor started getting twitchy. He's just like, I'm just gonna leave that little beard down there. So she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Oh God, I'll be at this all night, y'all. This is something else. Jermaine Stewart, y'all give it up for Candace Owens. Can y'all give it up for Candace Owens? Girl, you look good, girl. You look good. Candace Jermaine Stewart is in the house, y'all. You look good, girl. Candace Amber Jermaine Stewart Owens Farmer. You look good, girl. All right, y'all. Who Lord Jesus, I gotta get to the Umar Johnson video, y'all, because that's about to be lit. I'm on one tonight. Oh, good God. You can't make this up. He did. That is a true fact. He did. He passed away from AIDS, y'all. Oh. And then Candace came back and reincarnated. She was like, "You can have my body. It's okay. Take my body and carry on. Live on through me." The same way I'm alleging that Brigitte Macron and her brother did. Yeah, we can do the same thing. You can't make this up. This is what you got. This is what you get, Candace. See what happens when you lie like hell. None of us like that. Ooh, that's such a transformation. And then God sit on the throne. He's like, okay. He's like, I have nothing to do with this. I want you all to know I have nothing to do with that. I'm going to leave that alone and just let the doctor handle that one. I don't want to be involved. Oh, Jesus. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And let me get some supers in right quick. You got to get some laughter in. Because if not, Candace will give you a headache if you let her. Y'all, please don't let her anger you. It's okay. This is a safe space for us to watch Candace Owens and laugh at her together. All right? You don't have to laugh at her alone. You can always laugh at her with me here in the Lady Luck Club. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for engaging. Shout out to the candy asses that came in and flooded the chats. I had to block one for spamming because I don't do spamming. We don't do all the stupid stuff. You said the same thing over and over. We don't spam because you're not going to have my video messed up. Because, I'm smarter than you bots. Okay? I know when it's what spamming does to the videos. YouTube starts to look at it like it's some sort of nonsense. And no. You can go over there and spam her. But you're not doing that crap over here. So, but for those who participated, they gave their opinion. They didn't like it. Whatever. Oh man, shout out to all of you members, supporters. We got a new member, Amy Miller, in the house. Thank you so much. It's going to come up twice because we have 2 different broadcasts going. One for vertical, which is for like the cell phones and everything, and then the standard broadcast horizontal that we have here. So that's why it's 2 different ones. So you're going to see, like when I leave a comment or a link or something like that, it shows up twice because it's 2 broadcasts going. But I appreciate you, Amy Miller. Thank you so much. Congratulations and welcome to the LLC. We have over 100 members in the Lady Luck Club, you all. So now I really have to do a live stream. And a couple of you emailed me. One of you emailed me asking about a group, like Facebook group or something. I don't have Facebook, but I am thinking about doing a Patreon. So you all let me know if you want me to start a Patreon. Well, we could go over there and have movie night because YouTube, they really suck on that. Can't have movie night over here on YouTube. We got to have movie night on Patreon or something like that. But if you guys want a Patreon, because I just refuse to give YouTube any of my information of business or anything. But if you want to, go over and hang out with me on Patreon, just let me know. I'll do a poll on the channel. I put up a post, do a poll, and you guys let me know. Or you can recommend some good platforms that can or will allow us to be able to kind of have more freedom in what we watch, and where you guys can join, preferably for free. And people be able to enjoy, come in, and then maybe get perks and pay it like that, like a membership sort of thing. But y'all let me know what you prefer and what would be the best out there. Something that is not a whole lot of maintenance for me. I got to be honest. I have a regular job, got kids, got a lot going on. Christmas coming up. I want to watch Christmas movies. I want to see A Christmas Carol. So many variations of that movie I want to see with you all. But I want to be able to do it where we don't have to worry about the movie being blocked. So I want to have a couple Christmas movie nights with you all before Christmas comes around, and we can check out, do some Spanish, because Francisca is like, when we going back to Spanish class. So we're gonna do that, and then have like a Christmas movie night in the members only. If we can't do it on YouTube, then do it on Patreon or something like that, and have a good time and lay back and kick back. So y'all let me know what what you guys want to do on the post. I'll put up a poll and we'll go from there. So thank you to Cece for the $20 super for the goal. There's a $25 goal. Thank you. Shout out to my mods for always reminding me and the chat of the goal. Sometimes I just forget to talk about it, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's a blessing. It really is. So the $20 goal here, $20 super from Cece, and then the $5 super from Cece. Goal achieved. Yes, it is. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's an absolute blessing. Monique, shout out to you for the $2 super. 5 mil subs. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Yeah, she got a hard fall to get. Candace, it does not pay to get up to the top walking on the backs of others. That's not how you get up there. And that's how you did. And when people start standing up, you're no longer to walk on backs to get to the top. You're going to start falling through the cracks. And they're not going to catch you. They're going to let it happen. The Macron lawsuit is the first step. So you're going to learn, girl. You can't go out here ruining people's lives and stuff and not care about their families and think that, good things should happen to me. It's so crazy. Shout out to Eminem for comment of the day. The timeline is created by Candace Owens so she can put whatever she wants in there, which doesn't make it proof or fact. Exactly. Candace does not want to research definitions of terms. Candace, right here, aka Jermaine Stewart, does not want to research definitions of terms. So that's going to end up backfiring her in court bigly. And there's a jury demand. So she's not making her case to a judge. She's making her case to a jury who's going to look at all this evidence from the Macrons and the scientific evidence. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it. Candace is full of crap. So we're going to go ahead and rule in favor of the plaintiff and grant judgment to them for double-digit millions of dollars. Okay, that's how this going to go. Candace, you might want to think about trying to do a mediation, girl. We all know you're gonna try. You just not saying something about a motion to dismiss. You don't get any brownie points for that. Shout out to you, Jen, for the 199. The saying is, possession is 9/10 of the law. Look at here. See? She said perception is possession is 9/10 of the law. Shout out to Jen for dropping facts, because that's how we operate here in the Lady Luck Club. And it didn't make any sense what she was saying either way. But shout out to you. Shout out to you. Possession is 9/10 of the law. That is the expression. And if you guys never believe anything I say, you can Google it. I always challenge people to research, debunk me. If I'm wrong and you have facts to show it, I'll take it. Did we not post the email from URI where they said a person with that name, Candace Amber Owens, date of birth, 04/29/89, did receive a degree? Did we not post that email up? I was sitting down on the inside of my mind saying, why? No. But I posted it up. I put it out there. So when it comes to releasing factual information, that's what we do here. Whether I like it or not is irrelevant. So thank you so much, Jen. Possession is 9/10 of the law, not perception. Candace, you need to read and stop lying about things that people can easily debunk you with by doing a simple Google search. That was something simple that she could be debunked. It's crazy. It's a big difference, by the way. Possession of facts and possession is 9/10 of the law. And it comes down to, what you can prove. What can you prove? And let me pull it up. Hold on. Possession is 9/10 of the law. So we can, hold on, let me pull that up right quick so we can all be clear on that. Because, the candy ass is like, oh, no, it is perception. No, it's possession. Here it is. The phrase possession is 9/10 of the law means that having physical control over an item or property often gives a person a stronger claim to it than someone who does not possess it. Like the blood of the First Lady, Candace. You have no control over her blood. She does. And when they bring in scientific evidence to prove that she was born a woman and she will die a woman, and you're not going to take away her motherhood, and she gave birth 3 times and had 3 kids, you're going to lose like hell. Its possession is 9/10 of the law. Candace, you still lie through your teeth. You heifer. Unbelievable. All because she didn't Google something. Who is her so-called research team on her staff in Candace Owens LLC? You need to stop getting your nanny to sit here and tell you things, as opposed to just fact checking it. You didn't do it. You said perception is 9/10 of the law. No, it's not. It's possession. So you don't have any control over any evidence or items or documentation to help you meet your burden. You're going to have a weak case. And then to say that, oh, this court lacks jurisdiction. Candace has no idea what jurisdiction is. She doesn't understand how it works with her LLC and Georgetown Inc. being registered in Delaware, giving grounds to the Macrones to file the lawsuit in Delaware, because they're following the money. They're seeing where your revenue is being generated under, and is being generated under an LLC that is registered to the state of Delaware. So yes, that's how the law works. I went over this when I went over the lawsuit, by the way. Candace, you need to watch that video where I go over the lawsuit so you can understand why they have jurisdiction there. And you filed the lawsuit yourself against USA Today. You told on yourself, Candace. You are the one that put it in court documents that your LLC is registered in Delaware. Now, all of a sudden, it's not. You can't even prove that it's in Tennessee. You live in Tennessee. You're saying that the harm was done in Tennessee. I'm glad you admitted the harm was done, because that's what she's saying, basically. No, the damage was done here in Tennessee. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? What she said, that the damage was done in Tennessee? Because that's what she said. Did anybody catch that but me? I was like, oh, okay, I'm glad she was able to admit that. So that's why I don't understand why they're suing me up there, because the damage was done here in Tennessee. I know her attorneys shed a brick. You can't make this up. They have had to shoot a brick. Candace, you're making me having to go back through that video to find exactly where you said where the harm was done in Tennessee. You're admitting harm was done. This is how ridiculous she is. You can't make this stuff up. I'm trying to get to it where I can see it right. Her saying it was done in Tennessee. Y'all, this is unbelievable. I know I heard it. I heard that. And then she goes, she's all over the place in this video. Hold on a second. Let me go back to this, because you can't make this up.
Coming undone, to just say, okay, maybe we took it too far. Let's get Macron out of office and put somebody else in there that we can control. They are taking this way too far. The reality is that these countries that have so much power and these leaders that have been in place and these systems that have been in place, and part of it is because of how much money they have and the lengths they will go through to keep things a secret. But the thing that they are forgetting is perception is 9/10 of the law, right? They have been able to do so much and to conduct.
Perception is not, no, it's possession. So she lied with that. She didn't fact check it.
In place and these systems that have been in place. And part of it is because of how much money they have and the lengths they will go through to keep things a secret. But the thing that they are forgetting is perception is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, let me screenshot that, because that's going to be the thumbnail. Another thumbnail where I could just say, no, you dummy, it's possession. Oh my God, the thumbnails are just epic right now. Candace, you're giving me thumbnails for days. Because she doesn't know the law or understand complex terms. She actually thinks that perception is 9/10 of the law. It's possession. You got 3 attorneys, Candace. Why don't you ask them to teach you something? To the attorneys for Candace Owens, I'm pretty sure that you're going to probably want to drop her as a client, because now she's put out an address, even though it's public information, was on the court docket, where people now know exactly what building you all work in. Yeah, I'm not encouraging anybody to call you all, but the candy asses and the bots and stuff, those fake investigators and mommy slews, they just can't help themselves.
Right. They have been able to do so much and to conduct so much evil because people around the world actually didn't believe that evil existed. Right. The illusion was very important. Now they are violating the illusion and just hoping that money is going to fix this. Money's not going to fix this. Okay. Killing people more is actually going to catalyze the understanding that we're all having that there is something very dangerous, something deep and dark that is going on. And the themes that were in this story are now in the Charlie Kirk story. So many people involved here having a history of child sex abuse. It's just not normal. How many times does this come up in the Charlie Kirk story? Whether you're talking about George Zinn or the person that jumped up and...
Yeah, come on.
Okay. And right now we are getting a sense that doesn't even seem to be a plausibility, and that things are becoming even more extreme. More money is being spent in trying to get us to invest in a fiction. Like, I don't know. It just seems like it's all coming undone. And so I wanted to express that to you guys, that we should prod that narrative more. We should learn more about that company, Satis. We should see, we are receiving a bunch of tips about that company, and we are going to chase down those leads.
So you're going to dox the company? You get sued again. You'll get sued some more, because you're going to learn. You and all them folks that's helping you, when they start getting named, and they're not as rich as you are, Candace. You understand, these so-called mommy slews, they don't have as much money as you have. So when they start getting named, because YouTube will unravel their information over to an attorney so that they can be sued and be named as a co-defendant in a lawsuit, then they're going to really tell you to F off and kick rocks. Because they're not going to be able to afford to pay 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus $1,000 in judgments. So you could get hit with $1 million judgment. But these mommy slews can't afford that. But they can be named co-defendants. And impersonating an investigator is illegal. That's a felony. To the dum-dums that think this is cute. Nope, it's not.
Because it's very difficult once I put that in a timeline for me to simply ignore the France angle. Obviously, France would know. They should be able to just help us out. I'm sure they should be able to reach out to France and say, hey, you purchased this hanger. I mean, you decided to lease this hanger for 2 years, very short time, to paint some planes.
Say that?
Could you tell us who landed in Wilmington, Delaware, and was shuttled over to 910 King? I think that would be a good start. Anyways, we'll be right back, and I'll tell you about...
What did she say? That they didn't do... The damage wasn't done in Delaware. It was done in Tennessee. Can anybody pinpoint that? Uh-oh, hold on.
Or like where they claim that they have been defamed is here in Tennessee.
Oh, there you go. Candace, you didn't think I would pick it up. Yeah, she just admitted that she famed them. She's admitting that she defamed them. Y'all see this? that she doesn't have to believe it. I know she doesn't believe it, but she just admitted it. She just admitted that she defamed them in Tennessee. Girl, you defamed them on YouTube, which when it comes to electronic platforms, okay, it's not limited to one jurisdiction over the other because it's cyber harassment. But because your LLCs are making all this money where you're profiting off of defaming them, and that's in Delaware, they have the standing to sue you there. But you're admitting you defamed them. Whether you did it in Tennessee, you're doing it on YouTube. So whether you're located in Tennessee is irrelevant because it's being perpetuated over social media. It's not like you're sending them a letter in the mail. You're doing this electronically on social media, on an electronic social media platform. And it's the thing, here's what's arguable. Who says that you're in Tennessee? You said you got people looking for you. You claiming that you're in Tennessee is irrelevant. It's the fact that it's still being done electronically on a platform, on a social media platform. Your physical location would then be deemed irrelevant because you could be lying about where you're physically located. But the fact that you said you defamed them, to the Macrones, I hope you all see this because this is funny to me. She's just now admitting that she filed the motion to dismiss. You can't make this up.
What are we doing in Delaware? We should dismiss in Delaware and say that they have to file where you are, like where they claim that they have been defamed is here in Tennessee. That's so interesting.
Yeah, okay. That's another snippet. Candace Owens admits that she defamed them. Saying that you did it in Tennessee is irrelevant, girl. You did it on social media. So you did it on an electronic platform. That's cyber harassment. You're not harassing them in person. Boy, these thumbnails are getting epic. You can't make this up. You're admitting you defamed them.
Interesting to me in retrospect that we didn't understand why this was happening in Delaware. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, okay. No, I gotta go. Listen, thank y'all so much for tuning in. You can't make this stuff up. Candace, you're still stupid. Oh my God. Oh, Lord have mercy. Listen, I want y'all to have a good evening. If you can, join me over on Umar's live because I'm still going to do Umar's live. But if not, listen, Candace, a.k.a. Jermaine Stewart, wants all of you all to have a good evening. Get you some rest. Tomorrow's Friday. The kids are going to be out of school next week. Next week, Thursday, is Turkey Day. Gobble, gobble. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to have more live streams next week, y'all. It's going to be on and popping. All right. So thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate all of you. And I will see you all in the next one. And if not, I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, and Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.